Hello, my satellite neighbors, and welcome to another Saturday night edition of the live chat. Today, we're going to talk about the free satellite TV channels C and KU band. And I see I already got about 8 people in here. Cool. I'll be taking in calls, but I just wanted to start off by doing a quick rundown of the channels that are available on free satellite TV, which is C band and KU band. So C band, like this one of these big dishes here, like this big one I have a picture of here. And then you might want to put one of those in your yard. You get a ton of channels. The bigger the better with a satellite dish. But you might get your wife saying, I should be like, I don't like that big ugly thing. Why do we have to have that big ugly thing? And you'd be like, well, that saves us a lot of money, honey. That's like we're not paying $100 in cable. I paid a few $100s for that thing secondhand, and now we save a lot of money. We can get all our free channels for free and not have to pay for cable and pay our mortgage off quickly. Oh yeah. You're so smart, honey. So yeah, that's basically. Oh yeah. My daughter wants me to do the head thing. She gets a kick out of it. Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me. I'm just going to get one more KU band satellite dish. Please stop yelling at me. The neighbors can hear. It's embarrassing. All right. All right. So I guess the people here in the chat room, how's it going? So yeah, I just want to before I start reading the chats here, I'm just going to read through all the channels that are available, and let me know. Hold your comments there. I'll catch up to you. Let me know the channels that you guys that are in the chat room that you guys like. But I just want to do the rundown of the channels. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to. Oh, I can't change the chat tabs around on this guy. I'll do it this way. And put my head in there. There we go. I'm in territory I'm not used to, and you might see down here. I'm doing because I got a little demo. I'm going to show you guys a little bit later on. I'll give you a little preview of what I'm dealing with. There's MeTV in the background. We're going to go over the TBS viewer a little bit later on. But first, I'm going to go stick with the topic of the channel of tonight's live stream, which is the free satellite TV channels. So I'm going to go right to 101 West. That's where MeTV is. And do I have it pulled up here? Yes, here. So if you're looking for channels, you go to tvrosat.com or Linksat. Linksat's this site here. So if you go to Linksat and you're like, what do I do here? How do I find the channels? Just a quick rundown, which I know I've done this before, but we'll go through it if there's anyone new here. So you click on America. I just want to go back there to show you how to find the channels. So you find this tab up here for satellites because like it can get confusing on this site. Go to America, and then it will have all of the North American satellites. And most people watching this are in the North American region. I talk to people all over the world. Free satellite TV is really big in a lot of in Europe and in Asia and Africa. So I'm going to click on 101 here, and it will bring me to 101. Now, just so you guys know, if you're new, if you're looking at this site, you see there's all these channels, but it's like these 4-digit numbers here. These are C-band frequencies. So a lot of the time, you can just buy like an Amico satellite receiver, one of these right here. I'll have a link to it. I believe there is a link to this in the description of this video on the YouTube link. Probably the best receiver to get for like starting out. And you can scan in all the channels. Now on 101 West, which is also known as SES1, it probably has the most amount of channels that a lot of us in our little community that we watch. Maybe there's another one, but we'll talk about that later. So it has, for the most part, some of these channels move around here too. So this list right here. So you have decades, movies, which show like old black and white movies, kind of like Turner Classic Movies. I think it's owned by MGM. You get Start TV, East and West, Heroes and Icons, East and West, which Heroes and Icons is a pretty good channel. that alone. And a lot of these channels are the digital sub channels that happen that and like big cities in the United States have these sub channels. So it'll be NBC and there'll be like a bunch of sub channels, and that's kind of what these channels are. But they're really good channels. There's a MeTV. I believe Court TV is over on Galaxy 19. I was watching all of that this week because of anyway. So it's lots of interesting content there. So you got MeTV. MeTV is actually one of the channels. Like for years, I was watching that all the time. I actually get MeTV over the air, so I use a C-band satellite dish, big satellite dish. But for years, I couldn't get MeTV over the air in my area, so I was using the satellite feed, which is I got you have it right here playing here. There it is right there, and here's MeTV alternate playing in the background with a DVB Dream. So I don't know if it's an old movie or what they're showing right now, but great channel. I love MeTV. Some great content there. Now a lot of these channels, like this one here, with you'll see it'll be in a different color. Like there's some that are green and some that are kind of like this pink color. Now they'll be encrypted with PowerView, and yeah, they're usually used by broadcasters, and they encrypt them because they're not being nice to us. So anyway, what I'm promoting is these channels that are in the clear. So there's a lot of channels that are up there, but they're also encrypted, just so that you know. But there is a ton of channels that actually are free in the clear. You can use with one of these receivers here, this Amico receiver, and you'll be able to pick up a ton of channels that are in the clear that are not encrypted. So there's still a lot of channels that are not encrypted. So sometimes there'll be a channel, it'll be encrypted on one satellite, and it'll be over on another satellite, and it'll be opening in the clear. So that's pretty much a big one that I follow is all the channels right here on 101 West. Just a bunch of rerun channels, but I guess it's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels, but they're like 6 channels that are ones that I watch. Yeah, so that's kind of what it is. I mean, don't think when you get into free satellite TV, don't think you're going to get like all the channels that you'll get with cable. You won't get channels like that, but there is hundreds of free channels that to be had. It's just a lot of the channels are special interest channels or religious channels, but there is quite a few gems, like especially with the expanding digital sub-channel market that they have in the States. So there's a lot of channels that they're basically being sent out to a bunch of TV stations that rebroadcast them, and they're usually free and in the clear, and you can pick it up with a regular free satellite TV receiver. So another satellite that I'm going to go over, I pulled this one up, is it moved. So a lot of people, last time I did one of these all the satellite channel rundowns, I talked about CTV. And there's a bunch of CTV channels, and it's on 119 West. It used to be on 107 West. And this is another part of the hobby, is a lot of channels will come, go, move. So when there's channels that are in like one spot for years, and all of a sudden they move to another satellite, and this typically does happen quite a lot in our hobby. So it's over on transponder frequency 4020 vertical, and you just got to enter the you don't even on a lot of receivers you don't have to enter these, but if you're just starting out and you're trying to get your first frequency, you might have to enter in the one, make sure you're on the right frequency when you're aiming your dish. But after that, you can scan them in and you get them. So there's all these CTV channels, and this is one thing I like about this hobby for free satellite TV. I'm a big news junkie. I watch a lot of news shows. So when I watch, like for example, CTV, I can watch news from across the country. I'm in Canada. So I can watch the Western and the Eastern and versions of the news. And I kind of like that. I don't know. I'm a nerd, and I just enjoy watching newscasts all across the country. And also they're at different times. So they'll be 6 o'clock. We'll have like my region, obviously. But I can usually an hour earlier, I can watch stuff that's on in the East. Like I watch the Eastern news first, and then I can watch the Western news later on. They also have the Weather Network, which has like a whole whack of sub channels over on the Weather Network. Yeah, it's kind of funny how they have that. They do have it in HD, but you'll scan in, there'll be like 10 different weather network channels. It's the same thing. This is the broadcast industry. They are dinosaurs. They work in a way from like how things work maybe in the 80s or in the 90s and haven't moved on. They get systems that are set up and they're not modernized to what we currently have. They just do funny things. There's Divots and K-Love. And oh yeah, there's this channel here. It's on, whoops, I don't mean to click on it. Yeah, CNN is on what is that, 119 West? I believe there's like, it's just one channel there, but it's, oh, maybe there's Showtime East promo. It's like, but it's like a standard version of CNN. So that's another one that's on with but that's on KU band. So there is differences between C band, which is a large dish. KU band, you can pick up KU band on a large dish if you have a large KU band LMB, but you won't be able to pick up C band with a KU band dish, or you'll need like for at least like a 4-foot dish to do it, and you won't get all the channels. So I'm not going to get too much in that. I'm mainly talking about the channels that are available. If you want to find out more information, follow my channel and also follow me over at freesatellitetv.net. And there's a lot of information about this stuff there. Lots of videos that I've done on that. So there's 101. There is 103 is another satellite with a lot of free satellite TV channels. Lots of these are all encrypted here, but there is the Bounce TV network, and I believe that's also on. I was looking at Galaxy 19, which I'm kind of saddened because a lot of the channels that used to be on Galaxy 19 have gone away. AMG, I can't get that anymore. Maybe someone will let me know if they can still get AMG. I'm not looking at the comments yet. I'm just sort of going through this. And there's definitely a lot of shopping channels. Like, you're going to scan this in, you're going to find a few channels you like. You'll find out HSN, QVC, and all those shopping channels will be there. So here we go. Over on 4040 horizontal, 3000 over on 103 West. You can get Grit TV, Court TV, Ion Network, East and West, Laugh, Bounce, Newsy. Was that on there now? I believe so. Newsy, which they're trying to say that they're the just the facts news, not the opinion. But I find every news channel is going to have their side of that. But that's fine. I mean, it's just but it's good to have an alternative, I guess, to what I don't know. If you compare it to other news agencies, there's Grit TV, there's Court TV, Mystery, Bounce, Home Shopping Network, True Real, and Deafy. Newsy again. I guess they got a list of toys. Oh, maybe they have it in HD and one's in maybe SD, which could probably be the case. True Real and Deafy, I've done a few videos on them. They were upcoming channels, and there's a ton of I don't know, just what's the Duck Dynasty and Pawn Stars type shows. True Real, same thing. Reality based TV. Now you might look at the charts and you'll see channels like this that say DigiCypher 2, and they're encrypted, basically used by the broadcast industry, cable companies, and satellite providers. But a lot of times when I'm setting up a dish, I'll enter in the transponders. There's signal there. I just can't view it on a receiver. But if I'm trying to get my LMB skewed just right with the horizontal and vertical, I'll have all this scanned in just to make sure that I'm able to tune it in. Oh yeah, and then there's on the KU band side. So when you're looking at KU band channels, and this is a big satellite for a lot of people here, is 103 West. That it has NBC on it, and Cozy, which is like one of the digital sub channels. And Cozy, I can get it over the air here, but just shows all the old, rerun shows, kind of like MeTV, but more not so much sitcoms, maybe more dramas. I don't know. They show Frasier and stuff like that on Cozy. And there's NBC Mountain feeds. So the interesting thing is with these feeds, because they're satellite feeds, is they'll show the shows when they go to commercial. It'll be a black screen, so you might tune in and see nothing, and then 5 minutes later, all of a sudden, bang! It's really loud, and you see the channels on it. So DW from Germany, that's that's usually on satellite. That moves around a lot too. If you're a European and you're trying to watch like news from Europe, that channel, I've noticed it's all over the place, different times. I don't even know if it's on that satellite right now. There's 2 feeds here. I'm not sure which one works for me for the NBC. And an update from what we've had here, and I don't know if this thing has been updated, is that Newsmax, I don't believe is there anymore over on 103 West. They've moved, so I guess it's just for TV news. Maybe Alex Jones over on 91 West is there's Russia Today and CNN over on one that I just mentioned. So there's NHK World, AOL. I don't even think that one's on there anymore. This needs to be cleaned up. And the FedEx encrypted channel. So that's kind of a rundown of the main channels out there that I could think of. I'll just run down here too. You can always go to the satellite charts here and look at them. Just gonna look at this little list I have here. It's not the most up to date, but I just wanted to go through. So on Intelsat, which is at 55 West, Intelsat 34, it has BYU TV International, GCTV documentary, and the main reason why I move my dish all the way to that side is for the WWE live feed for Raw and SmackDown. So I tend to move the dish over there and watch Raw and SmackDown. That's one thing. Even back years ago when I didn't have cable and I was living in an apartment in Ottawa, I used to leave a VCR at my parents' house and would record Raw and SmackDown through their cable because that's all I wanted, pretty much. I work a lot of hours, and I usually just come home and I just want to put on like the news and watch a little bit of TV. I don't want to pay $100 a month for just watching a few hours of TV a week, right? But I like the technology, and it's kind of like C-band satellite, free satellite TV is kind of like the shortwave radio of television, is the way I've heard it explained. If you ever listen to shortwave radio, which is a little radio, you can pick up tons of stations from around the world, and no monthly fees or anything, right? Another, I don't know if it would help if I show you my text file that I'm going by here, is Intelsat 34. Intelsat 21. So they're called Intelsat over on the western part of the arc. France 24. There's CCTV. There's GCTV, which is the Chinese, and airing is a Korean channel. There's NHK, a Japanese channel. I think there's North Korean channel that's on at certain times. And a bunch of like international news channels over at 58 West. Then there's 89 West. I think there's got to be more than just CBN News on at that time. And Galaxy 16 at 91 West, BYU, the Word Network, TCT, and TCT Kids. Galaxy 19, actually, I got to update this because I don't think AMG is what's coming in for me. Maybe I need a larger dish. I do know they stream. They've been on satellite for years. LDS Church, which, and I believe there's BYU sometimes. And I guess another channel I really like that I discovered from watching satellite is BYU TV. It's just lots of pretty good shows on there. Lots of family-friendly content, stuff that I actually do feel comfortable having on with my family sitting there watching, now Galaxy 19 does have the Balance, Grit, Escape, Justice Network, Laugh. I'm not sure if Automotive is there anymore. Buzzer, I don't know if Buzzer's on there. Would have noticed that there the other night when I was scanning it. I don't know if Buzzer is around anymore. And over on Galaxy 16, which is 99 West, and I'm just talking about mostly KU bands. I'll do a breakdown of Galaxy 19 in a few minutes because there's a ton of channels over in Galaxy 19, but they're kind of considered the religious, international, and stuff channels. I don't know if there's or news channels. I don't know if there's really anything like eBrew that used to be a channel there, or anything to that. Tough TV, retro TV used to be on Galaxy 19, but there aren't anymore. But channels like that tend to pop up with free satellite TV, so they'll come and go. So over on 99 West, there's the World Harvest TV, which is a whole cluster of channels that are like old sitcoms. I don't know if I'm seeing here it had Cozy at one time. I'm not sure if that's correct. I think it's Dabble. It would be there now. And Shepherd's Chapel. And another one is on the KU band size, there's a bunch of Russian channels. And then there's InfoWars, Alex Jones's channel over on 99 West on Galaxy 16. I have no one popping in the room today. I wonder if there's anyway, I'm going through all this, so I'll look at that in a minute. I went through 101 West. I went through 105 West. I don't know if they have channels there anymore. 19 West. We went through that. Another one I'm not sure about, if Eutelsat, which has like a lot of South American channels, but they come in pretty good. Retro TV East, they're like the retro TV channels. I'm not sure if that's coming in now because I haven't really on my I have an 8-footer dish, not a 10-footer. So sometimes there's weaker channels that I'm not able to get with my 8-footer. But if you had a 10-footer or something larger, I think that would work out fine for you. Over on, I'm gonna skip over to 125 West, which has the TVN Mux. Oh wait, that's wrong. That's out of date. I do believe the TBN channels have moved to the one next to that, 121 West, I believe. And it has Smile of a Child, TBN, a bunch of those type channels, and really good high quality bit rate. Like it's a lot better quality than what you see on Galaxy 19. I find those channels they have over on Galaxy 19 that have been there for years and are using MPEG-2, which is a digital standard that was invented in the 90s. So it's getting to be a little bit outdated. ABC and AMC, sorry. So yeah, another really good satellite is 127 West, Galaxy 13 or Horizons 1/Horizons 1. That's what it will say on Linksat. It has Reelz, NASA 4K or NASA. And if you have a 4K satellite receiver, you can get that. And also has Fuse East and West, which is another kind of like a comedy or sitcom diginet. So that's a quick rundown of the channels. I'm going to go to the comments here, and then we'll go over and look at Galaxy 19. So I got Leo. And also, if you want to join in with a chat tonight, I'll throw out the link here. So there's an invite for you to join in and call in tonight if you want to call in and chat. I need a webcam, or you don't need a webcam. You don't have to turn your webcam on, but you need like a mic that works on your phone or computer. And it should work. Leo asks, let's kind of bring this down. Hey, Robbie, should compare all three streaming at OTA and free satellite TV. Some people recently told me they're ditching their free satellite TV for over the air or streaming. That's totally up to them. It's not my choice, but yeah. I still use the free satellite TV quite a bit. I'm using it daily, pretty much for news, for radio, and for stuff like that. But I do stream as well. I mean, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Odyssey. If you've ever checked out Odyssey, it's kind of like YouTube, and it's been able to back up my whole channel there. It's also, I'm pretty sure there are some overlap over 3 platforms, but I think FreeSat has the most channels available. I don't see the need to ditch free satellite TV over cable. You know what? I like having both because the way I see it is I get MeTV on over the air and cable, but MeTV is better on the satellite. And for one reason is when I watch MeTV on the over the air broadcast, they have these bars all around it, and the bit rate is not as good. Where the satellite picture is a lot better picture quality. So there's little things like that that are the differences. But I mean, there is streaming, and a lot of people like I'm streaming this live stream tonight. I'm not on satellite because that would cost to have a channel on satellite would be between $5,000 for a low quality one, or $30,000 a month for a very high quality, high definition channel, maybe more. Don Norris, how's it going from Ohio? Dollar store quality says as an antenna guy, I really want to get an antenna set up as well. I mean, I think this is a hobby for people that are into that kind of stuff, that like to do DXing with their TV antenna, and also to see what they can get on satellite. I don't know if you can see my desk next to me. I have a mess of wires here, and it's all these little RTL, SDR radio things, like things like that, that I listen to radio with. And I'm messing around. Like, I'm really into the tech. I'm probably more into the tech than actually watching TV and playing around with this stuff than actually watching the. I think it's junk, a lot of the stuff that's on TV, really. I don't watch any fiction these days. I'm mostly watching nonfiction, news content and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of like whatever your interests are. I know I like this when it comes to nonfiction, pro wrestling, and that's pretty much like the shows that you see on TV, right? Pro wrestling, it's a show. It's an entertainment. Joe Mall says nice videos. Big fan of the fan show. I mean, great Falls, Montana. Cool. Good, great to hear from you, Joe. Let's see here. Okay, that's old. Monty Butterfield says, I was just clicking on Linkslat, and your live show notice popped up, and there was a screenshot of Linksat. Oh yeah, yeah. Just looking at Linksat here as I cut probably my first few frames for this. Got some people in here. Just looking through the comments here. And Annika says, do analog channels still exist? On satellite, I think it existed up to a few weeks ago, and that was when CPAC, at least in North America, which has been broadcasting since the 70s, went off the air. So I don't even think there's a digital replacement for CPAC. I think it's just gone, right? And yeah, there's still over-the-air broadcast TV channels here in Canada. In Canada, I don't know. And they don't even know that ATSC3 has been invented. So, and Monty asks, "Are there still open wild feeds?" And yes, there is. As I said, I watch wrestling, which is a wild feed. And so for watching Monday Night Raw, there used to be a YouTube channel that actually showed the behind the scenes stuff from wrestling. And you can see that in all stuff. I'm just happen to be a wrestling fan. I don't watch all the other sports. Now, major league stuff is always tends to be encrypted, but sometimes you can find like the college football, the college sports stuff in the clear on a lot of, especially if you have a motorized KU band system and you're scanning for the KU band feeds. but yeah, there's still tons of wild feeds. Great website for doing that is going to Rick's Wild Feeds, and usually they'll post when stuff pops up, and you can kind of sometimes it's the same satellite, same transponder week by week. So sometimes if you've seen it's been there, and if you kind of get your satellite scanned in for that, you'll catch it the next time. Paul says Cozy shows NBC program. So I think so. I think they're all tend to be like all the networks' way of making money with the content that they own, and actually making probably more advertising dollars from reverse mortgage companies and My Pillow guys and all these commercials that you see there are pills, for big pharmaceutical companies with all these side effects. Advice for saying, okay, you LB trying to get Galaxy 19. I think I got a video. If you look at the best video I've done for the A to the Z setup is a motorized KU band setup. Great for like a new someone new getting into it. Kind of cover the whole setup of a satellite dish. And even if you're not going to do a motor, if you skip past the motor stuff, it's the same principles for setting up a dish. And you might want to add a motor when they come down in price someday. Leo asks, is this TV still on free to air? And I was on 99 West where it was, and I did not see it up there. Yeah, you're going by what the charts say, but I was not able to pick it up. So what happens with these charts here, and same thing with Linksat and TV Eurosat. Sometimes people will be quick to report that the channels are on, but they won't report when they leave. So sometimes that's where it gets a little messy on the satellite chart. So they'll so just look at. Oh, okay. Leo says, I hear PBS is better on FTA than over the air because there's 720p. I just kicked my camera. I believe that's so. Yeah, I believe you're right on that one because the channels for PBS, some of the feeds channels anyway, are 1080p. And that's kind of one of the ways years ago to get really good high definition was to what's to do that. I'm gonna bring Kurt up. I lost the other caller I had on here. Or I'll bring you down there, Kurt. I'll wait for you to get yourselves ready. But yeah, here's where. So I'm just gonna bring up this comment. Oh, I had one there. Are there still superior livestock options, and how about reruns of Dr. Gene Scott? So, Monty, I saw that, but then it went away for a while, and it came back. But then when I scanned, I didn't see it the other day for the livestock auctions. For Dr. Gene Scott, he is still on Galaxy 19. And but yeah, I still pick him up. Harry says hard to get InfoWars. It is. I lost it on my 4-foot dish, and I actually tweaked the skew of my LNB and got it in. Now I'm not having any problems with it. So it's a tricky one. So yeah, make sure you get the other transponder, the JTV stuff. And then if you can get that and then tweak your LMB just a bit, maybe just make sure you get the focal point, could be a slightly little bit, and you might get it. And it's one of those weird transponders for that. Hey, Kurt, I brought you up here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, that PBS on 125 West it's a really nice picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, I've looked at it before. I typically, because I'm lazy and I don't really care if it's 720p or standard definition. For the most part, I just usually put it on. And but the thing is, what I did find, because I get a local WPBS in my area over the antenna, but I found that they had the documentaries played at different times on the on that's another satellite I should mention, as I didn't mention, is one what was it, 125 West? No, where's PBS on KU band?
Oh, 87 West.
It's
Or is
on
it
87. It's on two satellites. It's on
yeah.
87 West, the LPBS, and it's on
Oh, 125. Those are the two I
one
know of.
125. Okay, I'll bring it up here on Linksat. Um, and yeah, it's the picture quality for PBS is pretty good, and it also has programming like it. It's not just PBS when you scan it in; it's like 10 PBS channels, like with PBS Kids, PBS Create, World Channel, and all that stuff are a part of that with like their east and west feeds and all that. So that's some of the stuff that you'll see over at. And somebody says here, Ken says, or no, Black Knight, I have a cheap HH motor. I find they're all expensive now. Maybe they're made cheap, but everything's gone up so high in price. It's what's really hurt Tech 2000's business. I believe one of the big things that hurt them is that they have the container shortage, so they're not able to ship these large C-band satellite dishes across the ocean because they're manufactured in Asia, and yeah, and it's just hard to get that. Anyway, just going through some of the comments here. So yeah, let's take a look at Galaxy 19. I kind of skipped through, did some comments, and so I'm looking at 99 West. Bring this up here. There you go. Let's do that. Put Kurt over here. Oh. Well, I did something here. Huh. There you go. Anyway, so I'm looking at 99 West, and yeah, so just to quickly go through what that's on 99 West, they have World Harvest, Family Entertainment, Dabble, Shopping Channel. There's always Shopping Channel. World Harvest Radio, which is like kind of like the feed that I don't know if you ever listen to shortwave radio, you'll hear Onward Christian Soldiers playing, and you'll hear the bumper for programs on World Harvest Radio. It does say this TV and WNBC are still there on 99 West. And the Armed Forces Network, which is encrypted, I wish they were not. I think they're. I thought I saw like at one time they were not encrypted. It was a long time ago. So if you're looking for 99 West, I'd always say go for the Russian Media Group transponder first before trying to get the news channel. And also the news feeds here. There's a ton of news feeds. So if you do like a blind scan, you'll see all sorts of CBS and Fox news feeds on 99 West, especially like around 6 o'clock when the local news are going to be on, because you'll see the reporters get ready to do a live news feed. It's kind of one of the fun things about the hobby is seeing the news reporters live and getting ready to go do their live show. And so I don't know if I'm going to go with Linksats, because I found TVRO Sat wasn't keeping up with Galaxy 19. And I got to go through Galaxy 19 a lot just to make sure that there's not like a diamond in the rough there, a channel that's pretty good. And I'd be glad to know that exists. And then no one's talking about it, right? Because sometimes there's a channel that comes and goes on Galaxy 19 and no one talks about it. Now, these are like a lot of foreign and international channels. Radio channels, too, on first transponder 11837V, Global Star, which is like there's a lot of if you see these things here in this kind of font here that are not as bold, they're radio channels. And I guess there's some sad news too for Republic Broadcasting Network this week. John Statmiller, who's a radio host of the National Intel Report, which is on Galaxy 19, has passed away. And he was a founder. John Statmiller was of Genesis Communication, and then that was sold to Ted Anderson, and he started Republic Broadcasting Network out of Austin, Texas. Anyway, just someone who's been on free to air for a real long time. More of a radio personality, but sad to hear of anyone's passing. So hopefully Republic Broadcasting Network will be able to still be on satellite. Then there's 3ABN. There's going to be tons of religious channels over in Galaxy 19. There's Daystar. There's Duna World, which is an international TV. There's Smart Lifestyle, which is a lot of this stuff over on this 11.842 is Seventh-day Adventist type stuff. The Overcomer is there too, which is Brother Stair. You hear him on radio a lot. There's the Liberty Radio Network, LRN, Live Talk Radio. There's I listen to the LRN Live, Free Talk Live. I've called into them a few times. And what else do we have? Anyway, some more international channels. It's kind of interesting with Galaxy 19. You'll see channels from all around the world. There's Victory Channel, another international channel, and I think free satellite TV or free to air gets a bad rap because people say there's a lot of all there is foreign or international channels, and they probably watch Galaxy 19, and that's where a lot of that stuff is. But if you go to like the 87 West, there's PBS channels and the news feeds over in 87 West on SES2 on KU band, and then there's the KU band channels over on 125 West for PBS and a bunch of wild feeds. There's KTV Sport, which I've been trying to tune into KTV Sport just to see if they have wrestling, but they don't. It's like just usually guys talking, I guess. Press TV, which is another news channel. There's Global Cast, which has TBN, Smile of Child, Positive TV, Positive TV, which is like the Christian movie channel and a Christian children's channel. I guess it's not all Christian movies or Christian TV channels over on Smile, but definitely it's a Christian feel to it. Over on the SES satellite, there's just basically what happens is these companies like Globalcast and SES, you can go to them, and for the right price, you can have your channel on satellite, or you can have satellite time. If you want to have a satellite TV channel, or if you want to give me a lot of money and have me create a satellite TV channel, I can do that. Go to these guys, pay the money, and stream to them, and have a channel up on free satellite TV. It's doable compared to like what company rents are and stuff. It's just streaming's a lot cheaper. But I think you reach a large audience through the satellite if enough people. That's what they do in most parts of the world, except for North America, for whatever reason. Yeah, so I don't know. Nothing really sticks out to me over on Galaxy 19. That is not like I do watch some of these channels. I watch RT from time to time and listen to the radio channels that are on here. And I like the call-in radio format. I'm a big fan of call-in talk radio. So that's kind of what I like about that. I'd like to see more channels like that. Another thing I want to talk about is maybe I can just show it here to you guys on this dealio. I don't have it scanned in here. No, there's Bengali. I got this thing on MeTV right now. With the MeTV alternative window playing here in the background. So this is DVB Dream. And so what I'm using is this tonight, which is a little USB thing. I got a mess of wires here, so it's showing green right now. And I got the satellite coax cable plugged into it. I'm not close enough to the mic, and I'm using Windows. I usually use Linux. I'm a big Linux fan, but I'm finding myself I have to learn more Windows stuff because to run this program, which I'll bring it up here, to run this program, I need to be able to use Windows to make it work. I would love this program to work in Linux. So we're watching MeTV. There's decades, so it scans it in. It kind of does. It takes a second or two to get the channel. So there's decades. You can watch picture in picture, but only if you have like a transponder that works together. So I was talking about Galaxy 19. I got Galaxy 19 scanned in here as well. And so here's all the channels that are there. I'll click on Daystar. Just gonna load. Maybe it won't load. I'll move to another channel. Sometimes there's doubles in here. I just cleared the doubles, but I think, oh yeah, KTV Sport. Ooh, the signal's bouncing around there quite a bit. Okay, I'll put your audio down there, Kurt. It's saying encrypted, but it's not an encrypted channel. All right, I'll move to another transponder. Hey, and I cleaned it up. Can never see what I'm looking for. Oh, the positive. Kuwait Sports. Try that again. Just to see if wrestling's playing right now. Could be the weather too. It's KU band, so it could be cutting out. I think it just doesn't like that transponder. This is working before I started here, and then obviously if I'm going to do a demo, it's obviously going to. That's when it's not going to work. So this is like a computer. You plug in your USB satellite tuner, and it's not as easy to use as an Amico. I'll say that much. If you're getting new into free to air, this is maybe not for you. But if you're an advanced user and you want to use one of the TBS tuners for multiple, different reasons, the cool thing is if I could get it working, which I can't now, or doesn't like Galaxy 19 sometimes. Go back to C-band. I wonder if I go back to C-band and then go back to KU band, it'll work again. It didn't like my switch the last few days. It took a second to do that. I'm going to go there. There we go. Okay, I got RT playing in the background here. So the cool thing is, for example, if you were to use this and you were watching, say, the live feed satellite over on 87 West, which has all the live feeds, you can go to PIP and you can kind of watch in a window there multiple feeds. I'll go to front back. And yeah, so I'm going to crash my computer doing all this demo. Showing PIP. Now this will record like a lot of satellite receivers, but I think the PIP feature is kind of neat. I'd probably bring up one window. Just the same thing there. So you can have like multiple different streams and different feeds here at once. You can make them bigger too. You don't have to have them that size. But it will only work with one transponder. Where for what I'm doing here, I got it on RT, so it works for the RT transponder. I'll try with Smile just to see if that's going to work. Anyway, back to the comment. So that's a DVB Dream, which sometimes it's a nightmare to get it to work. But I've been playing around with that. I'm working on a video on that, but it's been one of those. It takes a long time to get this program to work. So my video, instead of working on a video and getting it done in a day, it's been weeks to do a video on this thing. So it's been a slow process, but that's kind of what I've been working on. I think when I did my last live stream, I'm gonna figure this thing out. Okay, I figured it out. Tried a bunch of programs in Linux and it didn't work. Where were we at? How far along did I mess up in these comments here? Todd asks, I have two or three old Prime Star receivers from back in the 90s. I don't think the receivers be any good to you, but the dish, a lot of people use those Prime Star dishes and repurpose them for KU band because they're so big. They're pretty good dishes. What's an affordable CKU receiver still commercially available? I'm looking to get into TVRO, says Monty. I have a link in the description. One of the most, I really recommend the Amico Mini. Though this is the Amico S2X, which is an ultra high definition satellite receiver. That's how big they are. Not that big. They're really good receivers. They're definitely a good one to get into if you're kind of getting back into it or new into the free to air hobby. Just because I would say these things are a lot easier to set up and program. Something like this program I'm using, I would not recommend you get into the hobby and start using this program. I would have a receiver set up, or they're a fun thing to have. They're not that expensive, and I've done a video review on it. Is to get one of these. It doesn't have to be this color. I don't even think after I made fun of this particular one and the color, they have them in gray now. So this is a satellite. Basically, it's a little TV in a box, portable satellite finder, but it's actually a satellite receiver and a handheld Game Boy, fat Game Boy box, right? So you can. These aren't the greatest. The best one actually is to have this Sat Hero. It works a lot better than this. But for what this thing cost me, it was like $88 off of eBay. And I mean, if you want a link, I'll send you a link to one of these things. I'm happy to do it. It gets me a little small commission on my Amazon account. But this will work. If the power goes out, you can connect it up to your satellite dish and watch TV on it. I mean, it's kind of neat that way. And they're cheap, but they're good for like if you're setting up a dish and you don't want to bring a TV set out with you and all that. They're kind of cool to have. They're fairly reasonably priced. And yeah, and with this hobby with satellites, like if you got a receiver that's 10 years old, it's really not going to be good for much because you want to get a lot of channels are moving toward H.264. So, it's more to get into it. I don't know where I put that. Kurt's back. I'll put your audio back on if you're back. What programming that is for your TV viewing? Mostly I watch news, RT, the News Channel 97, and I listen to a lot of radio stuff too. A lot of the radio stuff is on Galaxy 19. Call-in radio shows that you can get on a K-band dish and all that. John Y asked, I'm just reading it as it comes out. Is the upcoming bandwidth crush on C-band going to affect feeder air? Will more FDA transition to KU or go fiber? Probably a lot of places will just go fiber, which would be cheaper. The global casts and the uplinkers of the world feel that they're going to be able to charge more for KU band, but really KU band is where it's always been. C band's still going to work. There's all this doom and gloom, but the television broadcast industry, they're like trying to sell new LMBs for the C band dishes or new C band dishes. So C band's not going away. It's just probably if you're like right in the middle like of a city like Montreal or Toronto, you're gonna need maybe a filter, way better. Engineers are saying like better coax, RG8 or RG11. I'm not even. I looked at RG11 today, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to buy RG11. I'm in a small town, a small city, and the rollout for that stuff, I'd have to hear what it's going to be. But it's probably going to end up, need a larger dish, or some transponders are going to be affected. But they've done a repack on C-band as well, so I've done videos on this stuff. But yeah, all the doom and gloom they've been saying for years. Satellite, that's the constant thing with free satellite TV. Oh, it's going to end soon. They've been saying that for 40 years now. So. Leo Mercado says, I think you could do a similar thing with caffeine and FTA. Caffeine does have that. That's where I was messing around with. But it just doesn't work out of the box. I can get caffeine. I can get this thing to work. This WinTV HVR USB to coax device. I can get that to work, no problem. But getting DVB-S2 to work was not happening for me. Maybe there's a plugin or an extra version of caffeine, but it's not working. I love that program, though. I use it for over-the-air ATSC viewing, but it just doesn't seem to work there's not really a whole lot of open source. There's a lot of programs, but a lot of them did not work for me so far out of the box. I want something that's going to work fairly easily. Like I'm not going to have to hop into the command line and compile software and all this. And there's been software that I've done that and then I installed it and then it didn't work. So I've been having a lot of headaches trying to get it to work in Linux. And believe me, I've been trying. David says, I just added a universal KU LMB to my 8-foot Unimesh C-band dish. Yeah, and that's hopefully that works out well for you. Hopefully you're able to get it, that sweet spot for you, the KU band LMB, so that you can get those KU band channels and get the best of both worlds with one dish. I used to do that, but I've moved on to having a dish specifically for a C-band, and I have a bunch of dishes for KU band because KU band dishes are just smaller and easier to set up, I guess. Just easier because they don't take up as much room. Okay, here's a good question. Does the Amico have the ability to move the dish, power the positioner arm? It doesn't have if you're running an actuator, no receiver today in the last 30 years, or maybe 20 years, have like the little screw in things where the electrical connectors where you hook like the speaker wire up to the to move your actuator. They don't have that anymore. They do have the dissect one dish mover, so they can move like a KU band dish motor, but they won't move an actuator. But you can get, it will work if you get one of those dish movers, like the dish mover I've talked about, because what would happen is you would put the coax cable out, and then the dish mover actually has like a input and output for your LMB, so it feeds through your dish mover, and this thing can actually move it, but you have to get a dish mover separately that will work with it. So I have a video on my channel where I really go into the setup of the dish mover. I've done a couple of those videos, so if you're interested in that, do a search for that. And I have an Odyssey channel too now. It's kind of neat. I won't promote it too much, but hey, if you want to follow me, I am everywhere. And so, yeah. I'm Robbie Strike at odyssey.com. Oh, there's been a comment there too, eh? I have my first follower, yay, over on Odyssey. So yeah, I'm just setting that up because I'm excited to see other channels and I have a backup for my channel. And so Odyssey, it's kind of neat to have that. Uploads? No. Yeah, I guess my uploads. No, I have no uploads, no, but my channel does it. It's kind of interesting how it would back up my channel. I have 358 videos and it's all backed up here on Odyssey. So I'll show you a link picture of it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so there's my Odyssey page. Just basically, it's like my YouTube channel. I got 2 followers there. I just want to get a few followers. It has all my videos backed up here, just in case. You never know if an asteroid or a coronal mass ejection were to hit the servers of YouTube or Facebook, and you need to get in contact with me and figure out how to get a satellite dish working again because a mass media blackout. I'll be on the blockchain. I'll be on Odyssey. Because it's sort of like that. In case the internet goes down, it's a blockchain, so that's the idea of it, apparently. I like the positive comments to get those. Those are always really good. Have you used a compass collimator sat shooter tool? Would recommend it. Have not. I just basically aim the dish, use this, make sure I get the signal, and make sure the arc worked. I didn't use the compass stuff. It's a different era with digital than with analog. The digital is a little it's trickier because you have to have the frequency entered in on the receiver right away. It would depend on the filters too. I mean, it's hard for a company right now to say we have a 5G filter on this LMB because it's not tested, right? And I guess the I don't know. I got 5G routers and it doesn't seem to affect it. That's consumer routers, right? Another thing with 5G is like the fear mongering, misinformation and fear mongering. But it's really a lot of these 5G towers are not using much more power than what a router uses. They're not like cell phone towers where they use a lot of power for that lower frequency. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what's going on with all that. I don't know. And if not, like I'll just use KU band. I'll stream. I think there'll still be C-band channels that will still come in okay because from what I see now, some channels are, I receive what I can with an 8-foot dish, and yeah, I gotta ask my wife, honey, I just want a 10-foot dish, or maybe a 12-foot dish, 12-foot dish because of 5G. Just stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me about the dish. It's just 10 feet. It's just be about 4 extra feet than what we already have. And anyway, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're in Canada, or even in the States. If you get one of the Old Orby TV dishes for KU band, you can get the PBS channels or the Galaxy 19 channels, or the channels. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. All the new channels that were Orby used to be. So if you had Orby TV and you plugged like a receiver like this into it, like an Amico, you probably scan in these channels. And I gotta mention these. I didn't mention that. I'm bringing it up right now. Go over to Linksat. It is listed over on Linksat now. Where's my face there? So they're new. So when you're looking for Linksat, you just go here. Say it. You're in America, and I know it's Orby's old 117, or also known as 1.116. Ton of C-band international channels. So over at Eutelsat 117, also known as 116.9, there's these things. Why is this not working for me? Let's try this right live on this live stream to enter this guy into my... Whoa, go away. I don't know if I have it programmed in here. Where'd it go? There it is. Minimize. Mm-hmm. So this is how we enter. So here's how we have to enter a transponder if it will work even on my DVB Dream setup. It's going to make it smaller here. You can bear with me, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go into... I'll make sure I got the dissect switch set up right. I was trying to get it earlier and it wasn't coming up. So I got KU circular, which is weird because like it's not circular, it's linear KU band, but this program thinks it's called circular. Sure. What's okay? Same 4 zeros. 4 zeros. Controlled. What does Galaxy 19 say? Off. Yeah. Make sure I got that off. Okay. Maybe that's part of the factor why it's not working. So when you want to enter a channel on this thing here, so I'm going into the scan option, go to the manual scan. I want to scan in this channel here. I tried it earlier and it wasn't coming up. Maybe it's telling me the wrong frequency. So this is one of the Orby TV. Probably not going to work. I think I tried it earlier. It wasn't happening. So it's signal rate here is 3,000. So I'm going to enter 30. The FEC is 2 and 3, and it is 8 PSK, not 2 turbo. Cannot get a lock. So it says, oh, what did I just do there? I put it on the wrong satellite. So there we go. We're looking in the wrong part of the sky. That would be a factor. So I'll enter that again. It's 118. 11940. And I tried this earlier before the stream and it wasn't working. It wasn't happening. Well, we'll try it now. It says cannot get a lock. Now either I'm on the wrong frequency. Maybe good old TV or OSAT has the right frequency, because you can't do a blind scan with this thing. You have to enter it and don't get one digit wrong, or you're sweet out of luck. Yeah, it's like doing Linux. The command line of Linux, just make a typo or misspell something, you're sweet out of luck. Let's see here. What was that satellite? 118, 117.8. Sometimes TV or OSAT has it right and Linksat has it wrong. 1140, is that what I was telling that to do? 11940. Vertical 3. Anyway, these channels which I'm looking at here, this Revival TV, can't get it to scan in on this thing, and it could be it doesn't like my my setup. Re-entered the transponder. It's not going to do a scan for me because it says it's not locking. But if I were to unplug it and plug it into this thing here, it would work. It does weird things on me. I do a lot of this with this. I had that comment up there all this time. Good question. Paul Stringer is, can you use C and KU bands on the same receiver? Or do you need to? Nope, all on the same receiver. I have all this is a C KU band setup. What I'm using here, I don't have all the frequencies entered in right now, but I can go to this. I don't know if it's going to come up. It doesn't like that. I'll do a blind scan of Galaxy 19. Maybe that will like be entertaining for us while we talk. It's not even a blind scan. It's kind of a manual scan. It doesn't or an auto scan. So it goes through all the transponders and just tells me if there's anything there. So there. Uh-oh. What's that? That looks like it's going to be the... That's like too high quality. It's probably coming off my C-band dish. And it does these glitchy things where it scans in the C-band channels on the KU band side. That's this particular DVB Dream software that I'm using that I had to spend 45 American dollars on this week. So yeah, but most receivers, it will work. I think over on one of the dish satellites, there is CNN. Guess they're desperate for viewers right now, so they'll give it away for free to try to get more viewers.
That's the full channel?
Standard def. Over on... I looked at it earlier. I believe it was 119. It's the one where... Yes, it's the one where CTV C-band is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because, like, they said like 5 years ago, 5G is coming. You won't be able to get anything on C-band. They have 5G towers. I'm still getting C-band, so I don't know. I'm supposed to be completely wiped out, not be able to get anything. I still am. I don't know. Yeah, this thing's really doing weird things on me. Trying to scan in a channel, but I think it's got the wrong satellite. It has a lot of issues with the dissect switch. And I was using a dissect. I switched to a dissect. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, because it's spelled weird. And yeah, everyone's going to have a different pronunciation for those switches. But those satellite switches, you know, you got your ports 1 through 4, and I got an 8-port one because I got a lot of dishes in my backyard, and I got one little cable, coax cable, and I got nowhere to plug it in. So I worked on all my receivers except for on this DVB Dream nightmare software that I'm using. Well, scanned in some Galaxy 19 channels. Okay. It could have the frequencies off here because it seems to be entering the same one twice too. Yeah. Oh, so it is scanning in channels here right now. This thing is not fast either. The software, it is. We got Wes here. Yeah, that's what someone was saying there. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Wes. I don't know if you have a microphone. I saw you're on here before. If you would like to chat in here, you're up and could talk satellite stuff. Hey Trevor, I guess he's just joining now. So I have this software called DVB Dream. It doesn't work in Linux at all. Well, actually, it does work in Linux. I'm not enough of a geek to figure out how to make a Linux or Windows driver work in Wine or in emulation for that sort of thing.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, Wes, do you have something you'd like to ask or say? But if I did, if I could figure, like, basically, if there was a program like this that worked in Linux, I'd be very happy, even though it's very flaky or whatever. But I have to go in Windows, and I need to do a few things right now in Windows. Um, my church, we're doing a live streaming, so I'm trying to figure out. So I've set up a live stream for our service, basically using OBS, kind of like what I'm doing here, except I don't have to be in front of the camera. I'm just sitting behind the camera. And it's kind of neat because I have the switcher on my phone where I can switch from the camera views with my phone using OBS in the background. Okay, Wes, I'm going to bring you down, Wes, because you weren't saying anything. Trevor always has lots to say, so I'll bring him up.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, good. And just scanning in channels over on Galaxy 19. Well, not even a blind scan, but like a manual scan, which just means it enters whatever frequencies the software has. It does that and only that. It says it found. Does this give me a total? Found 31 channels, which is wrong for Galaxy 19. There's like over 100 channels. So something's going wrong on my system here for it only to get like 30 channels.
Could it be a leaky coax maybe or something like that?
Nope. I see what happened here. It scanned in all the horizontal transponders, but not the vertical transponders. So sometimes that happens with the receiver for whatever reason. It doesn't do it doesn't shift the polarity. Maybe I just need to reboot it. Always with a shot.
They always say rebooting fixes everything.
It does. It does a lot. I mean, it's going to minimize this guy here. Got it over in this window. Yeah, so I've been using Windows. And I'm learning Windows again because I've been not using Windows for years. And this is Windows 10. Someone's asking Windows 11. I don't even want to go Windows 11 at this point.
You can tell it's Windows 10 just by looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's I've been having a lot of issues with Windows 10 specifically. So, but
more people to go to Linux, and if you're kind of a Windows user and I got a few, I do a lot of Linux videos on this channel, and yeah, if you want to learn a little bit of Linux, I haven't really done a whole Linux install, but if you have an old computer laying around, download an image, an ISO of Linux Mint or Ubuntu, but I prefer Linux Mint, and you can put new life into your old computer by using Linux Mint. Like, especially if you have like this computer here, an old computer there, and well, years ago I bought it for $45, $60, and it's an i7. And it's just because someone didn't know how to fix Windows when they did something that they shouldn't have done on it. And I just pretty much installed Linux Mint on it, and I used it as a video editing computer for years. I basically started my YouTube channel with this computer over here. It's a little bit, I've gotten all the use I can get. It crashes a lot on me now. So I just moved on to my desktop, and but it was great. My $45-$60 secondhand computer that we used Caden Live to edit videos.
I do like Linux, but the thing that a lot of people say in the Linux community, which I know that's not true about, is don't use an NVIDIA card on Linux. It's a pain to set up. So NVIDIA.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. However, I'm not doing any shoutouts or anything. There's this new Linux. Well, it's not new, but it's this other Linux distribution that I've been playing with called Pop OS. It's made by System 76 that comes pre-installed with NVIDIA drivers, so you don't need to mess with that.
Oh, really? Pop OS. Yes, Pop OS is it's Linux, but it's like a proprietary Linux. It has like some proprietary software. Now, there's some people that they want to be completely open and free software. But if you use Android on your phone, Android essentially is like a Linux kernel, but it's a proprietary operating system that Google has built on top of Android. And I'm an Android user. I think my next phone, if I were able to, if there's a sponsor out there who wants to sell me a Pine phone, I'd like to get something like that, like a Pine phone or a one of the open source Linux phones where it's a cell phone, but it's not an Android or a Apple product, but it's an open source cell phone. I think that would work fine with a lot of my free to air stuff. Like with DVB Dream, you have to go into Windows. It does work for Linux. It's a lot of command line, very rocket surgery-esque stuff to be able to get it to work. And I just want something like basically that looks like this program here that I'm using. That looks like Caffeine is a program that I do use in Linux, but I haven't figured out how to get that to work. But it's not going to show the channel that I want for whatever reason. Anything on the vertical is not working. iFilm will work probably because it's in the horizontal. Yep.
Yeah. I like Windows 11. It's been working a lot better for me, Windows 11 than Windows 10 has. But I also do use Linux on this. Like I have an old Mac computer that you can only run as High Sierra on it, but it runs Linux perfectly fine. So that's my main Linux box now. So because High Sierra, you used to be able to get support, but a lot of software that I rely on is no longer available on High Sierra because it's a mid-2010 MacBook, and the maximum is High Sierra you can run. So an option like that would be for a good Linux box. So, and it runs it very well too, like really well.
And I have a NVIDIA card in this system. And what happens, and I thought about buying something different, something better. And the NVIDIA card, it used to have a lot of issues with the old Linux Mint 18 plus versions that I was using, where it got a lot of screen tear in videos. So you'd watch a video and you'd have this big line in the middle of the screen if there was a lot of refreshing, I guess, and you got this terrible looking screen tear. I would have to go in the command line. I had a whole bunch of code in a little text file, and I would go in and fix that all the time. But the latest version of Linux Mint, which would be Linux Mint 20, seems to be the screen tear problems with the NVIDIA card has gone away in videos. It looks basically like how when I'm running Windows here on this system. Because this system, I have 2 hard drives in the system, and one's for Windows, and one is for I have 2 hard drives in here for different versions of Linux that I run on this system. And I do a lot of my video editing in Linux. I use use Kdenlive. It's very easy to use. It's been very stable and worked for me very well for quite a few years now. But but I got to learn a little bit about how to do Windows because I'm doing some things now and that I need to relearn Windows. And I've been saying that for a couple of years. But I was so afraid of doing an update in Windows. And what happens sometimes in Windows is it will mess up your partition for Grub, which is like when you start up your computer, it'll be a menu that will ask you, do you want this computer to load in Windows, or do you want this computer to load in Linux, Mint, Ubuntu, or whatever? It will ask you. And for the most part, it will just default into Linux. Like that's usually how Grub's set up. But the scary thing is sometimes what has happened for a lot of people is they did an update on Windows and then all of a sudden that's gone and they can't get back into Linux Mint. I have a video tutorial how to fix that. There's some software out there that is called Grub Repair, and you can go in and repair that easily with like a USB flash drive if you install like a Linux in it. Yeah. And you can just install that program, it will repair it, and then you'll be back. I've had a lot of people actually thank me that it's got them up and going. You know, they put Linux on their wife's computer and it won't. They can't get Linux to boot back up on it or whatever.
Yeah, but I thought that only affected if you were running it on the same drive partition. I thought if it was on a second drive, it wouldn't affect that, but I don't know.
Usually, yeah, if it's on the same hard drive, it's gonna do that. Yeah. Hey, we
Yeah,
got
I got a
Vaughn.
good example.
We've got Vaughn in the West Coast there. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Just
Hello.
Bring all you guys
have the
up
day
here.
off, and I figured I would say hello.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Long time no talk.
Oh, yeah, it's going good.
I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's on. I don't know why it's lines like that. Try again.
Let's turn off my screen here. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Now, can you see me?
Your video feed looks like a when you disconnected an HDMI cable or something. You got like line in it.
It's nice.
That's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. Sorry, guys. It's on.
I guess I should go get my camera.
What is going on there?
So here's another thing that I've noticed with this software that I'm messing around with right now is it's telling me all these channels are decades, but it's not decades. So that's kind of an annoying thing when you're running this program. And it scans in the channels as the wrong channel.
Okay, let me boot up my computer because I'm talking to you on the phone, and I guess that's what's causing it.
Oh, okay. So, no, I'm trying to think of these old shows. I like these old shows though. That's kind of what I like about satellite TV. Is here we go. We got a promo for decades, and it's showing all the old classic TV shows from back in the day. There's another show on decades where it's called Through the Decades. And it's kind of like biography for or what's happened on this day in history. I like that program. That's kind of an interesting program to watch. It kind of has the same feel that biography has, same announcer. And if you guys want to tune in and call into the show, I wonder if I can send out that link again. Yeah. So here's the restream link if you want to call in with comment or questions via voice and webcam if you want. You don't have to turn on your webcam though if you don't want to. I'll show it there on the screen there. It kind of looks like that. We don't have it's a lot cheaper than having my own phone line and taking calls, and also you don't have to pay long distance or pay for a phone line. You just have a microphone connected to your computer. I made that solution a lot easier for me because at one point I wanted to get like an extra phone line, but then what really scared me is the idea that Car Shield. Anyway, sorry, I've seen a lot of these commercials on free to air. on satellite, you get a lot of the channels that are the sub-channel commercials that you would see.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. I'm trying to boot up my computer here. What is going on here?
So I got JTV. I wonder if that's going to tune in. Yeah. So, yeah, there's the jewelry channel, which is like a shopping channel. So, as I said, you can get like the picture-in-picture. I know these extra. So, you can like watch another channel with this thing. I think that's kind of cool. I need to like move it over to like the NASA channel and be able to watch the NASA feeds. And it screwed this up. So, it says nameless, but I think there's a channel there. Oh, it's just MeTV. It's got all messed up. I think it's just MeTV alternative twice. This looks like Spengoli. Yeah, it's a Spengoli show. I like seeing this, seeing the this really weird aspect ratio. I like seeing the a lot of the statistics of this, but I can actually do all this with my I use my Z Gamma box still a lot because it has a hard drive that actually is plugged into it. Hey Kurt, you brought yourself got your camera on there. Oh, your mic is off? No. You're up. It's just
Yeah, I had it muted here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. How do I get all this like to go in the background here? Or just bring
The evil Dr. Smith.
At first, I thought that was Mark Hamill after, like reading the script to The Force Awakens, I guess, or The Last Skywalker. Oh, it's the computer. I've had that issues too. I'm messing around with OBS these days, and I should just turn this down. Somebody's going to complain of copyright. How do I split view us all in here? Bring myself down. There we go. And turn off my screen of the universe, the Milky Way. Oh, I haven't done a live stream in so long. I've been busy. My work has been. I'm busy. My kids, we've been busy.
You still driving?
Yeah. So I've been very busy. Pandemic was it slowed down for a while, then it got really busy. I guess it slowed down for a while, or got to spend a lot of time at home, and then after that, just nonstop.
You drive school bus, or what kind of bus do you drive?
Well, I won't get into what I do too much here.
Okay.
I've spent a lot of my time working as a driver.
Large vehicle, we can say that much at least.
Large vehicle, large vehicle driver. That's what I do for a real job, and I play around with satellite stuff and all sorts of AV equipment, computer stuff is my hobby. Oh, somebody was asking a question. Jose Jesus Castro, where can I buy a C-band LMB that works? I would say eBay or Amazon is probably where you're going to find one. I actually do have a link to one. I think it's the titanium. That's one I recommend because it does have the 4G filter on it, and it's working great for me. I mean, I got a dual output titanium C2 is what I use, and it's $50-$60 LMB. It's been working great for me. I put it on this 4-foot dish and was able to pick up channels with that. So the 4-foot dish I use for KU band a lot of the time. The actuator has died on my 4-foot dish, and I just haven't fixed it. So basically, all I'm doing is manually moving it, basically loosening the screws. I move the dish to the other satellite, and I just tighten the screws back up. And it's the redneck fix instead of buying another dish. But most of the time, I leave that dish parked. The C-band dish, I do need a working actuator for that. I do have a backup one. I should have just sold it years ago, but I don't know anyone else in this area locally who even knows that you can still watch TV on one of these things anymore. Most people don't even know you can watch free TV with an antenna in my area. They don't realize that that's possible. They thought they have this lost look in their face. I thought they shut all that stuff down. Or they just stream because they don't. I guess with streaming, you don't have to put up an antenna. You don't have to put up a dish. But if everyone's internet goes down, there is no stream working for you. It's like today, one of my kids, they wanted to use the phone to make a messenger call, And it's like I was changing the light outside my house. I've never changed the lamp outside until today. And so I went out and I didn't want to electrocute myself, but I didn't. It was so broken, I didn't know how to turn on just to test if it worked. So I just shut all the power down to the house. And anyway, with that, we couldn't use the internet until I got that light fixed because I didn't want to electrocute myself. We don't have our switcher's not labeled very well for at least for that light. Maybe I should mark it now that I fixed it because I wanted to get my Christmas lights going. It's after November 11th, and so we set up for Christmas today. We got the tree up. I put the lights up a few weeks ago, but I didn't want to turn them on. I figured Memorial Day in the States, but here in Canada we call it Remembrance Day, November 11th, and just wanted to be respectful, I guess, to the veterans and that. So I don't believe in starting Christmas celebrations till after November 11th.
Well, it's okay. I guess you can do that. You guys don't have a Thanksgiving. Well, I mean, not the American holiday. You might have something else.
We have the Canadian Thanksgiving. We already had our. Did we have ours already? Or are we still going to have it? I think no, because Black Friday is coming. I think we've already had our Thanksgiving. that's just shows you for Canadian Thanksgiving. I don't remember. Did we have our Canadian Thanksgiving yet? Which is usually like October. Oh, Dio was saying, yeah, on that Facebook group putting out false information. Remember that 80s, 90s guy that didn't know that there was OTA and FTA still. There is a Facebook group. It's a pretty popular Facebook group, but every time somebody asks about free satellite TV on there, it's all these people that work in the broadcast and cable industry for some reason start saying they have this old mentality against satellite, and they all say that I guess a lot of false information about free satellite TV. They say that it's all the channels are encrypted, or they're all the channels are religious channels, or stuff like that. So does my sound okay? I'm basically using the same computer, just a completely different operating system that I've used before.
Your sound is okay. Your video freezes up once in a while, or it slows up. I shouldn't say it totally freezes. It just kind of like slow motion.
Okay. That's fine for Restream because maybe it's Restream's end. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Trevor's back here. Dig down here. Hey Trevor, you're back up. And I'm bringing up Wes. I don't know if he's.
I think my camera is broken.
Oh, okay.
Check.
I've had that before. Where what was it? Where my camera? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Cool.
My camera was not working, and I'm trying that with the OBS. I can't figure out how to get two. It's just the two cameras I happen to have. To get two cameras working with OBS at the same time. Because I'm doing right now, like on Sundays, I'm doing my church service, and we have one camera, but all I really do for camera 2 shot is I put on the minister. Basically, I have like a wide shot, and I just sort of do a digital zoom on the minister, but it looks awful. Like it's like a grainy digital zoom picture, but it works. I mean, but I wish I can get OBS to work with two cameras so that I can have like a cleaner, tighter shot, and move it around for the live streaming of the church service, because we got percentage of the people that won't go to church right now because they're afraid they're going to get a virus or something. So how the world is these days. So anyway, I got this live stream going on for that I set up, and I'm actually we had $0 to do this, right? So I did it basically with a camera that we were using before. I used one of those cheap video capture devices, like HDMI to USB dongles, and OBS, and we're actually using the same computer that they used back in the olden days. They used to have like overhead projectors with those, the overheads for the songs. Well, now they use the computer, so we use the same computer that they're using for that. So I can't really control the computer very much while we're doing the service. I sort of turn the live stream on, but then I figured out how to use on my phone. There's this thing for OBS that will allow you to control it remotely. So I'm hitting these buttons on my phone and changing the picture. I'm able to adjust the audio all via my phone on this computer that I'm not really sitting at. I'm social distancing from the person who's doing the graphics. So we got that going. I'm kind of happy I was able to do all that on $0. Well, not, bought like maybe an HDMI cable for the camera and things like that, but really next to nothing.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't really need much to start a stream, that's for sure. Just a computer and an internet connection. That's it, and even a mic.
Yeah, and microphone. That was another thing we were having problems with because in a church they have like a soundboard. They'll have like the big, for doing all the music and all that, and it will either be. Here's the problem I have. It's either really hot, like really loud when people are singing on the stage, but when the speaker comes down, you hear the room hiss and all that. And so I was trying to fix all that with my with the computer. So I actually have to bring the audio down when someone's speaking, bring the gain up, the audio up, and then I have to bring it back down when it's music. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I guess I'm not having a camera tonight.
Is it USB? Did you unplug it and plug it back in?
Like 5 times.
Different ports?
Yes. I think it's just Windows being Windows. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so here's something I did with this week when I think it's been this week, and I was using this program, and I haven't been using Windows in over a year. So I spent a good chunk of the day just updating. I was just deciding I'm going to try Windows on my laptop and then on my computer. A big chunk of that day was just updating the system.
Mm-hmm.
With Linux, I never have to do that. It has like a little thing, and I tell it when I want it to update, and it's usually not that long. It's like with Linux, I have this little habit, especially in Mint. I usually do the updates when I'm not using the browser, because a lot of the times it's a web browser, web type thing update for security. So I'll do that update. I see. That's how I switch that around. I'm just trying to figure out how to change these up.
Okay, I think.
What did they say on the TV show, the IT Group? Did you unplug it and plug it back in?
Or plug in a USB cable where you gotta plug it in the right way the first time. It's like this, damn, no. Oh, there. It's like always takes you a few times to plug in a USB. And at least for me, I'm always thinking this is an USB to SATA.
Mm-hmm.
I have all these little gadgets and adapters here on my desk. I like adapters. I like trying to make things work. It's like I used to go to Radio Shack, and it was like a candy store for me. And before it became the source, I would buy like these little adapters. I probably have some here in this drawer. Just reach in, I'll find them. Well, here's an adapter. It's a computer adapter, but USB to USB, that kind of USB, mini, micro. I don't know what they call that one. I got some here. Oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. On this wire, because I was playing around with my SDR. I got a whole whack of adapters all in here. Here, let's show you. This is gonna have some lemon water.
Oh gosh. Unable to access camera. Yeah, I think my camera's broken. I'm gonna have to buy a new camera.
Really? Yeah.
It Windows is not picking it up at all.
Get one of those HDMI to USB thingies. They're cheap, and you can hook up like a really good camera up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. for live stream. I know you do the game. So yeah, here's a wire, and I got a ton of adapters. I got SMA, whatever, it's mini one. So this is like a
That's what I've been into lately is SDR stuff.
RG6. Yeah, you're an amateur radio, right? John? Yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. I don't have a license, so
Neither do I.
I should get a license. I need someone to test me that's a friend to me, and it can be like when I get 5 wrong because I'm tired of writing 100 questions. I want to get out of there. Just let me take the test like in segments. After after an hour of writing those 100 questions, I'm getting really bored, and I didn't want to rewrite it.
Well, at least here in the U.S., you don't need to. It's not a requirement to know Morse code anymore.
Yeah, it isn't here either.
It isn't in Canada. No, I wrote the test a couple of years ago, and then when the one question I got wrong, I was so mad about, and then I was like, oh, whatever. It was the only people allowed to operate a radio apparatus are amateur radio people, and people authorized by Industry Canada. I'm thinking, well, people can still use CB radios without a license, and everyone has a Wi-Fi in their house. That's a radio apparatus, and anyway. But also I was so much interested in the satellite stuff. I wasn't thinking of, I don't want to build a radio. That's one of the problems with amateur radio operators is they want people at a technical point where they know the color codes and how to build the radio. I don't care about building the radio. I want to go to the store or buy it online, obviously, and buy the radio. Buy the antenna, connect the wire up to the antenna, and talk to some people on it.
Oh yeah, Baofeng.
Baofeng, yeah. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Just buy a Baofeng radio, and talk to people locally or something like that. I don't care about building the Baofeng radio. It's like a car. I have a license to drive a car. I don't know how to fix the car. But I don't know how to build the car. I know how to operate the car. But the amateur radio test wants you to know. It's almost like they want you to know enough to fix and build the radios, which I'm not going to open it up. That's basically where I'm at, and I think that's the problem to their detriment of why people are not getting licenses, and which affects the amateur radio community, where they're going to lose their bands because the government's going to take it and give it to the cell phone companies.
Yep.
And then we'll just be using their old bands to talk on our cell phones to each other, I guess, I see the OBS logo there, Trevor.
Yeah, I just think I'm just going to give up because it's not working. About time. Camera's like 7-8 years old. So.
Oh, wow. I found that Firefox was the corporate blocking my video. I don't understand what Firefox is, but I'm using Chrome, or Chromium is a good web browser as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to migrate more over to Chrome and Chromium. And Brave's another good one, too.
Chrome's a memory hog, though.
Yes.
Chrome and any Chrome-based web browsers, like Edge and everything, are all memory hogs.
Yeah. A lot of them are Chrome-based. I think Brave's like Chrome anyway as well, too.
So, I mean,
I just deal with it because Chrome incorporates everything with my Google, and I'm Android, so.
And the thing about Chromium, unfortunately, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but apparently Google blocked Chromium from accessing the sync services a while ago. Chromium, not Chrome.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, the open source variant of Chromium,
like that runs on Linux and everything.
Well, you can. Like the official Chrome from Google, you can still sync on Linux, but Chromium, you can't. I found out I was always messing with Arch Linux-based distribution the other day, and there is no official Chrome support for it. And so I was trying Chromium, but I couldn't sync my account. So
that's unfortunate. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has a question here. Jose has a question here. I bought a titanium LNB. I can't find the signal. But when I switch the KU band, I get signal right away. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. You shouldn't be if it's a titanium LNB, you shouldn't be getting KU band on it. So there's something wrong on your receiver end. If you have another receiver, I'd say try that. And I've seen that with what I'm using here today. This Dream DVB Dream is it does some funky things where it scans in the C-band channels as K, and it looks like it's doing it in KU band. It could be the frequency. The input frequency is wrong, but sometimes the software gets buggy and it doesn't have the input frequency right on the software frequency for whatever reason. So hopefully that will help him maybe figure out how to get his C-band LMB working a little bit better. Could be the skew is off too. That's with the C-band LMB, and it's tricky to get that skew just right. I guess with C-band, it's pretty easy once you get it in there with those stronger transponders. If you're adjusting an LMB, you'll find it. But then maybe those weaker transponders, especially with a titanium LMB. I found the titanium LMB had a lot of, like, you could have it at really off skew, but you were still getting signal.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's just for a whole satellite setup. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't messed with my LMB skew. I got it working, and I left it where it's going. I'm getting 55 west. Actually, I can get 43 west, and that there's some channels over at 43. I forget what I was looking at. 43, CNN International. I haven't even done a whole video on it. CNN type stuff, I guess, is pretty much what's on. There was Fox News and CNN on the same satellite, but I wasn't able to get the Fox part on my dish. I could try now because the leaves have fallen off the trees, and maybe it might work now. So maybe I should go back out and give that another try.
We're getting antenna and satellite weather here.
Oh yes. Yeah, well, I found that I was getting some transponders I was picking up that I never pick up. Over on 103 West, I think it was. There's a few of the weaker stuff that was coming in. Patrick, having trouble receiving some horizontal transponders using the titanium LMB will tuning help. Have a very strong signal, most vertical transponders. So that probably, I would think that would be like your skew is just off a little bit. And it could even be just like a hair, right? Where your skew's off a little bit for your C-band LMB, especially with those titanium LMBs, because they're pretty good at picking up signal. I don't know if you're using a 8-foot or a 10-footer. 10-footer, you're probably going to get better signal quality. Yeah, I'd love to have a 10-footer. I'd love to have a 10-footer, 12-footer, and an 8-footer. I'd love to have a giant backyard and fill it with nothing but C-band satellite.
I think at that point, you're going to want to get a different lot.
Yeah, I'll need to move and haven't won the lottery. No.
Well, not move. Not move. Just buy another lot specifically for satellites. Just an empty lot. And then just, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Internet Explorer.
I'm thinking
Internet Explorer. I don't know does that even exist anymore? That was like the internet back in the 90s.
It's still on there, but I would not suggest anybody using it because it's very unsecure. If you want to stick with Microsoft browsers, at least upgrade to Edge.
Yes, I have Edge on this system. I obviously don't have it on my Linux system, but I was using Edge.
I'm pretty sure I think Microsoft is working on a port of Edge for Linux, as far as I remember. Or there's already out, or they're working on one.
I wouldn't be surprised. Microsoft is completely different on Linux from what it was at one time. I mean, it's they do a lot of development.
Yeah, I would not suggest using Internet Explorer. I was actually I don't want to say any names, obviously, but someone called me that I used to do computer work for. He doesn't know much about computers, right? And he asked me, so I can't use the internet. A lot of my websites aren't working. I'm like, okay, what browser are you using? He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, how do you what icon do you use to access your internet? He says, "Oh, the one that looks like a big E." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Number one, you're gonna want to upgrade your browser because so many sites don't work on that anymore."
I'm using Netscape. Netscape 5.1.
AOL.
The big E, the original big E, the big blue E. That's Edge, or sorry, Internet Explorer. And anyway, I managed to talk him through to install Chrome on the computer.
Yeah, at least get Chrome. Oh.
And then they have Windows 7 that's non-service pack, so that was a pain. So I need to get them to upgrade to Service Pack 1, which was another pain. So, but I just, I did eventually get his computer at least upgraded to the point that it can at least install Google Chrome.
He's running 7.
Oh yeah.
I still have a few.
Tell me he can upgrade to 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to talk about how to upgrade his whole operating system. That will be. I'll need to be there with him.
Yeah.
And he lives in like a couple towns over, which I never go to anymore. So, it's funny.
So someone was asking about Craigslist. Craigslist has a free bud. Steve Dotson says Craigslist has a free bud all the time. I just want to remove that they just want to remove out of their yard. So yeah, if you're looking for a C-band satellite dish and you don't want to pay next to nothing for it, the gas money to get yourself out there, you can pretty much. You probably want to have a pickup truck, something to throw the dish in the back of. You can take them apart. They're in pie-shaped pieces, but I imagine some of those bolts, the screws holding all the panels together, could be like 40 years old. Well, not 40, 30, 40.
You bring it to Origin, a lot of wrenches.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say even like if you had a big truck, you could take the dish and take it into 2 sections, and then put it away there. Or just throw the whole thing. It's a 10-footer. Throw it in the back of your truck. That's what we did with the 8-footer Black Beauty when I got it. I didn't have a truck. I took it. I had a little hatchback car. I was like, how am I going to get this thing home? And then the guy wanted it out of his yard so much, he just hog-tied it to the back of his truck, dropped it off for me. But yeah, you can Facebook Marketplace, another good place to go look for stuff. Avoid receivers from Facebook Marketplace. I get people all the time. It was an old hack receiver from the 2006 days of what they called free to air, but it was really piracy. And they don't do HD. Like this is like from quite a while ago. So don't. You can buy one, and they're great for if you want to listen to Free Talk Live on Galaxy 19. Use them for radio, stuff like that. But I wouldn't really recommend them. Well, I guess they still work for a lot of the channels on Galaxy 19, but like those are most of them are religious channels. Most of the time, you want to get a receiver, at least like an Amico, is what I recommend, obviously, because. Or some of the newer receivers, if you know the specs, get something that's DVB S2 H.265 would be even better.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I never see any satellite dishes coming up on my marketplace. I shouldn't say I never see satellite. I see satellite dishes, but it's always Bell dishes.
Yeah, Bell. It's a lot of people must be scrapping Bell right now because people are just going with streaming in a lot of areas.
Or fiber.
Yeah, or the fiber. Yeah, because like Bell's offering that. Same thing with Rogers Cable. You buy the new boxes and you don't even plug a coax cable into them. They're just all
the
Wi-Fi.
Ignite boxes. The Ignite boxes. Unfortunately, here where I am, we actually cannot buy receivers from the companies. Unfortunately, we had no choice but to rent them. Where I am here specifically.
That's lame.
And you can't use even for a modem. For the bigger companies here, you cannot use your own modem. You can use your own router, but not your own modem. So,
yeah, Peter Bob says there's a lot of C-band dishes in his area. Another thing, though, the thing to get in Canada, and as I said in the U.S., is if you can find the old Orby TV dishes. did I talk about on the live streams? I haven't done a video about it before. Is that there's this other satellite company that was that bought the rights to Orby TV, and they do have a southern U.S. service. I forgot their name. And I think they were looking to. There was weird things happening with that transponder over on 117, 116.8 satellite. That they have all those channels still up there. All the Orby TV type channels, they were gone, and then they came back. There was like an encrypted version of all the, like all the basic cable channels, TNT and all that. So is it really the end of Orby TV, or is there another company going to come in and do an Orby TV service?
Possibly.
Yeah, so I can see that. I mean, it's a lot of what people were saying about Orby TV is they're 10 years too late to get to the market to do what they were doing. I think they're a good idea for rural areas to provide them some basic satellite service. Not the best picture quality, but most people don't care about picture quality. Ask anyone who's streaming. Anybody who's streaming, you're not getting the best picture quality.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Streaming, yes, there's a billion channels, but like even with this stream here on YouTube, Twitch, and all these different places, the bitrate quality is not. Well, it doesn't have to be for this stuff, but for watching movies, you're not getting like 4K quality. I don't even care about 4K quality myself. I listen to a lot of radio, and there's like 0K quality, on talk radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm entertained by that. I just sit and listen I wear headphones and listen to the radio at night. And shortwave radio, I've been listening to that. I bought another MLA 30 antenna, the magnetic loop antenna, because I wanted to be able to have one. I have one on my roof now, but I wanted to have one that I could take out to a quiet area out of the city and listen to shortwave radio.
I hear InfoWar on shortwave radio.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's on what is it? 160 on during the day.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
And I think he's down low, like 5.2. I've heard him down to that end of the band.
Yeah. He's been. It's like what I was talking about earlier with GCN Genesis Communication, the guy who passed away last week, John Statmiller. He started Genesis Communication with him down in Austin, Texas. They had a big falling out, but then they must have made nice because he was on his network again, on the RBN network. Alex Jones was for a while, and so I don't know. There's all sorts of in everything. There always is infighting and people not getting along, I guess. And but yeah, it's on there on streaming. I've been streaming, like, remember back in the the Windows 95 days, right? I was streaming on Real Player. You get radio stations you can listen to them on Real Player. It was only dial up, but dial up you could still listen to radio with dial up.
You could back then.
Yeah,
I don't know if you'd be able to now.
Yeah, depends on the stream. There's some websites still have their streams, the same streams that they were using. It's the same link they've been using for almost 20 years now.
That's insane.
Yeah, if you go to like for WWCRs, which is one of the shortwave stations, I think you can go to their site, and I think it's the same link that they used years ago. I'll have to look at it. I'll go there right now. How do I get into it? There's the browser. Go into WWCR.
Winamp. Yep, I love Winamp.
Yeah, in Linux I use Rhythmbox, and it's kind of like what Winamp is. You can manage your podcasts and podcast feeds in it and all that.
Rhythmbox. I never really did like Rhythmbox. I've messed with it before. I'm not a fan of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And on our Linux, I usually use VLC. But on Windows, I use Winamp.
Here's an old shortwave radio site that I used to listen to, and listen online. And yeah, they have Windows Media Player. Is Windows Media Player even still a thing?
Yep, it is.
And it's the same link. That's the same link like they've had for almost 20 years now. wwcr.com/wwcr1.asx stream file.
Yeah, you could definitely even the website looks old.
Oh yeah, this website is pretty much what it used to be like back in 1996 to 2021. It's been pretty much the same way since then. Pastor Gene Scott was always would be on one, and Peters was on the other one, and then 1 and 2 were like all the regular programming, and yeah, it's crazy stuff that day. And then I never talked about this before though. See if I can bring it up. Oh no, that. Bring this down here for a second. If you like software-defined radios, you don't want to buy a radio, or you live in a really loud area. I should do a video on this too.
The one that lists all the free tuners online. Or the
Web SDR.
Yeah, right. The web.
Here it is. Here, bring it up. So there's this site here, websdr.com .org, websdr.org, and you can just go on all these different. You don't even have to buy a software-defined radio. And you can. I don't know if try one
for a little while. I actually had my SDR up on that website, but the Raspberry Pi was on broke, or not. The Raspberry Pi broke. The installation broke, so I needed to reinstall it. I never did bring it back up.
How do I bring the audio up on this guy here? I see this the waterfall or the water up. I think there's someone talking there. Don't have it on mute.
Yeah, Web TV. I used to use Web TV back on Windows 98. Web TV. Someone just said, I remember Web TV. I never had a physical box, but I did used to use it back on Windows 98.
Utah. This is the one that's worked for me before. And the thing is, you can listen to AM radio stations on this thing too. There you go. I hear it now. How do I turn it off? The audio. You guys hear that?
No.
No, we can't hear anything. I can't.
You may need to in your OBS or whatever you're using.
Yeah, I don't have the audio going out. So anyway, you can basically point and click and listen to different radio stations online. It's just this web SDR. I wish I knew how to set up a web server with a Raspberry Pi, because I think that would be a fun project to play around with.
Oh, it's very easy. You just need to install Raspberry Lite, or you can install Raspberry with the desktop. I can't remember the exact. There's a couple commands to install the drivers, and then it just constantly broadcasts WebSDR over your internet, and you just need to go into your modem and port forward the ports, and then you can list it on the website. WebSDR.
Does it open up your system to be hacked, like if you're port forwarding?
Well, I mean, if you're using a Raspberry Pi, and I mean, what else are you usually really going to have on a Raspberry Pi that you would care about?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it would, I guess if you open up your main computer to the internet by port forwarding, it may cause an issue. But with a Raspberry Pi, it can only access that port through the Raspberry Pi. Don't ever port forward port 22, because that's SSH, and if someone can SSH into your Pi, they can do a lot of damage. So just open up whatever port a WebSDR uses, and then that's it.
Yeah. I could do that with my satellite receiver, like with the which would be the one, the Edison. If I port forwarded it, and then someone else could watch my satellite dish on the internet.
Careful. Yeah. I would be careful with that. Just some people might not like that.
Yeah. Be like, what's that company there that just recently had the lawsuit in the U.S. For streaming? They were not aerial. They were kind of after aerial. And Tenement has been talking about it a lot. I've been so busy. I haven't been really watching as many videos as I
Oh,
like.
the ones where you can get the local channels.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. Yeah, bring that up.
Well, I have a SIP server on my network that's open to the internet all the time, and I've never had any issues with it. So you should be fine.
A low cast. That's what. Yeah.
The only ports that are
Sorry,
open
go
on my
ahead.
network is UDP, TCP 1000 to 2000, and 5060 to 5061 TCP UDP, which is the only ports that are open on my network, which are pointing directly towards my PBX server. I haven't had any issues, so. All right, sorry for interrupting you.
Oh no, sorry. I was looking up what was that Lowcast.
Yeah,
I looked at it.
Yeah.
I looked at the Antenna Man's channel because he's been talking about that. I knew it'd pop right up. Yeah. So yeah, Lowcast. And I remember somebody showed me. I don't know if he's watching tonight. A little trick you could do in Android with the Lowcast. You can trick it in using a GPS app, which made your GPS look like you're in a different part of the country than you were. Hide my GPS, or it would actually take your GPS and then make it look like you're in a different area, and then so you could watch the different markets using Lowcast. It was a little trick that they had to be able to watch the over-the-air channels. But there's so much streaming options too. There's Pluto, there's Stir, and all these different options. I don't even know if Stir will work for me. I probably have to log into Stir, don't I? Probably do. They probably don't have it where I log in. Start watching Stir. It's authorizing, which I don't have my IP being changed right now. Actually, I don't even have my thing going on this computer, the ExpressVPN. Yeah, it might not work in Canada. I don't think Stir will work in Canada. You can change your IP address, though, and I think it will work. But there's tons of streaming options. But for me, I just go on YouTube. I mean, it's like... It's taking a really long time to authorize the Stir app. I can't even.
Yeah, I don't think that works in Canada. I think I've tried that outside of VPN and it don't work.
Oh, really? I guess it depends on the VPN too. It did work before, but maybe it doesn't work now.
I haven't tested it on. I got to spin up my my VPN, I guess, and try it again.
See, the thing is, I can do that, all the stuff through the VPN, but I really don't care about streaming. I would rather watch TV on the satellite.
It looks better, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Or I just go to YouTube, and a lot of the stuff, like for shows, you can watch the shows on like YouTube or someplace like that, and a day or two later or something. Crackle's another one. Yeah, that's another good thing to check out. I have Crackle on my Roku TV.
Tubi is pretty cool too. I like Tubi and Roku channel. That's another good one.
Roku channel, yeah, they have live channels and like a TV guide, even in Canada, that works out of the box for the Roku channel. There's like the red green channel, which is pretty awesome.
They recently added that in Canada. It's been in the States for a couple of years, but they recently added it here in Canada.
Like, why? It's made in Canada. That's how screwed up things are here. Can I say this here? Justin Trudeau's Great Reset or Build Back Better. It's not really getting much better, is it? Oh gosh, the stores are like, I don't know if I'll get in trouble. It's empty. It's empty. I went into the grocery store yesterday and I've never seen the shelves. You know, everything's fully stocked up, right? Not looking good.
Yeah, over here on the West Coast, I went into a local retailer the other day and looks like they're going out of business. I mean,
Yeah.
and they got people standing there stocking the shelves constantly, but it's like it's getting delivered, but it's not getting on the shelf. I don't know if it's from people not wanting to work or if they're not receiving the shipment.
Yeah. Because I know the ships are sitting at sea right now, and I think some are even coming around to Florida and getting in through Florida.
Yeah.
And it's it's a mess. Don't get the latest thing for Christmas this year, I guess, like the latest PlayStation or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't think anyone here has the latest iPhone, do they?
No, I have an 11.
What? I don't even know what. I don't know what.
13 Pro. I think the newest one is.
Yeah.
13 Pro.
13 is the newest. See, I don't even know what. Like, I didn't even know that there's an 11.
Last time I had an iPhone was the iPhone 4S.
Oh yeah,
iPhone 4.
I had an iPod back in like 2007. And that's something I ran in Linux, and it was such a mess to try to. I had every time I wanted to put new MP3s on it, and it didn't like me putting MP3s on it, but it worked. But I would have to format it every time I put MP3s on it because Apple really wanted everything to be converted to ACC. Yeah, and then after that, I was like, well, I'm not really happy with Apple. I bought like a phone that does MP3s, and it was nice though having a device that was designated for podcasts. For podcasts, the iPod was pretty good at doing that. I just had to jump through hoops to get MP3s to work on the 2007 iPod thingy.
MP3s of your own CDs, right?
Stuff like that. Well, see, I listened to podcasts even back then. I downloaded podcasts and put it onto I had an iPod. It was like, I still have it around here somewhere too. And it was the metal one. They're all metal. I don't know. I used to listen to it all the time. And it worked for quite a while until the battery started dying on it. And it was being an Apple product. They don't want you to fix the battery. They want you to throw it out and get a new one.
I still have my Articus kick around somewhere.
Oh, really? That's like the old MP3 player hard drive thing?
Yeah, it has a 15 gig drive in it, and I bought it because I'm like, look, this takes 4 AA batteries. I can change these out. And I ran it a couple sets. That died over time after recharging them.
Yeah, I have rechargeables, and I stopped using them for the longest time, but I charged it up yesterday for I have a Grundig radio, and it has a rechargeable batteries in for shortwave, and it lasted about a day, and then it died. Maybe a day and 2 days. And that radio that Reticus sent me, it's kind of neat because it's like a cell phone battery built into it, so it just charges it. You could plug it into your cell phone charger and charge it up.
I don't think I've always
it plays MP3s too. I've been playing MP3s on that.
I always stream my music from like YouTube or something. YouTube Music.
Yeah, I'm getting more into that, where I used to download the MP3 files, which is a podcast, and then listen to them on the go. But I guess I haven't been doing that as much. I'm not able to do that at my work now. I guess that was thing. I was a truck driver before, a courier driver. And then with that job, I was able to just for the long driving periods, I can listen to podcasts and get away with listen to whatever I wanted to. Oh, everyone's pooing on Apple here in the chat room.
Oh, no, let's be careful. I don't. Robbie might want Apple to come and sponsor a video, so let's.
I don't think Apple even knows we exist, so it's fine.
I think that's a review that I would probably turn down if Apple came to me.
I don't think Apple. I'm not trendy enough for Apple to probably approach me to review something.
Linus is not trendy enough for that. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Linus Tech Tips is not trendy enough for that.
Yeah. Does he do Apple stuff?
He has a separate channel for Apple stuff.
Does he?
Apple Linked or something?
Okay. I don't really see. I know Linus is the big tech review guy, but I don't really watch a ton of his videos. And then I know in the Linux community, he said stuff about Linux, and then there are all the Linux YouTube video creators. I try to stay away from calling video creators YouTubers because I like to use the term video creators because in a couple of years from now, video creators may not be on YouTube. They may be on Rumble or Odyssey or something else. They might be something else. They might be doing it on Discord. Maybe Discord will have a video sharing service. I just think that Facebook and YouTube are someday going to be they're going to be Yahoo. They're going to be MySpace. You know, people will just move away from that that format eventually. That's inevitable. You know.
That or they will keep improving on it, keep adding new features, and people. I don't know. I think YouTube is going to be around for many more years. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you never know. Like it could be, it could not be. I think if they do things right, they will. But there's been big mega corporations that made big mistakes, and people just walked away from them, right? Like, you know, why is MySpace not where it used to be, right? I think I was in 2006. I was on Yahoo Messenger with my friends, and that's no one uses Yahoo Messenger anymore.
I don't know. Does Yahoo Messenger even still exist?
I don't think it exists anymore.
My instant messenger of choice was MSN.
Yeah, I used MSN as well because I would have some friends that were like Yahoo friends, and then I had other friends that were MSN friends. And I think if there was a battle between those two messengers, I think MSN won out. But then for whatever reason, people moved to Facebook. I think that's what ended up happening. And then I was on Skype for a while, and then I'm not on Skype anymore. I don't know. I just feel Microsoft kind of killed Skype. They were losing everyone with MSN Messenger. They bought their and everyone was going from MSN Messenger to Skype. They bought their competition, and then everyone. So now, it's like Discord. I guess I don't have Discord on this computer. I should put it on this computer.
I've never had a MySpace account. I actually never had a MySpace account.
I have one. I think it's still up. I think I can still find my picture from
someone must be using it if it's still up.
Yeah.
Someone must be using it. Otherwise, they're already paying the bills.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they were bought. I don't know if they still are, but they were bought by Rupert Murdoch, like by Foxconn or whatever, whoever that is in the media sphere. And what was the other one? I don't know. It was MySpace, then Facebook. A friend of mine told me about Facebook, and I was like, I don't want to sign up for another thing to sign up and remember a password for and all that. So now I'm on Facebook, but now I'm on a bunch of other social medias too, because I don't know which one will.
I think I used AIM for a little while too. But I think I only used that for about a year or so.
AOL Instant Messenger? AIM? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I never used that one. I used, it wasn't ICQ. I never used ICQ, although I used, online, we had, way back in the day when I was using a Commodore 64 to connect to National Capital Freenet, I was using, they had, messenger things, chat rooms and all that. but I guess it was called ICQ something, but it would work through the BBS of Freenet. And the internet worked a little bit differently back in those days. They used to have Usenets. I think they still have Usenets. It's just Usenets are not as mainstream as what they might have once were. That was another thing we used, Usenets.
There's a lot of people like in the retro community, the retro computer community, that still maintain BBSs and stuff. Believe it or not.
Oh, I believe there would be. I saw modems. I'm on like Facebook groups, and that's one thing I get a little tired about with on Facebook is I see more group activity than I actually see friends posts. Like, I guess if I wanted to see something on Facebook, it would be like a tab to like filter out all the hundreds of groups I follow and filter out all the pages I follow and just give me my friends' latest info that I'm, keep caught up on. That's what I'm there for. I don't care about like, I don't know, stuff that's on like on a Facebook page, or if I want to, I just go into the group and look at it, right? But I guess from looking at my analytics on YouTube, people don't go to like the video page on YouTube. They watch a YouTube video because it was recommended on the main page. As most of the time, that's what people are coming to watch a video on YouTube from.
Mm-hmm.
John, why says, I remember going to browse BBSs for the latest demos back in the day. Is that like for Amiga demos or PC demos? Like Amiga would be going back a few years, or Atari ST demos in the demo scene.
So going back on your Usenet thing, I've actually used Usenet, for like the retro stuff. Downloaded a terabyte image file for a bunch of retro games for a Pi. But I've also come across backhaul off of satellites of big productions, concerts, and a couple of debates and things like that. Pretty interesting content.
There's a lot of video on Usenets, I guess. That was like the old way back when videos were in MPEG files.
MPEG-2.
MPEG-2s and all that. When you download them, they would be like, kind of grainy video bit rate. Especially if you're doing that. I mean, that's when I first put videos online. I had a website, and if a video went viral on you, it cost you more money because you'd have to pay for that bandwidth.
Man, how things have changed.
Yeah. Now if video goes viral, you make money. Paid. Yeah, you get paid. Yeah.
Get paid big bucks. Some people do big bucks. And there's also a lot of YouTube creators and just creators in general that's put like 30, 40 grand down and they never made anything in return. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. That's
because
even record companies, like for an artist, they would spend millions of dollars on artists, and then the artist would never materialize into anything.
Yeah, there was one guy. I'm not going to say any names, but he put $30,000 on down on a series, and since it was so violent, he only made like $10,000. Like, I actually never made it. He lost $20,000.
Oh yeah. So people lose money off the deal.
So it was a really good series. I really enjoyed the series, but unfortunately, YouTube didn't like it with all the violence. But
oh yes, well, certain ways you got to look at YouTube too. They become very mainstream, so they have to. Violence is something that they have to watch out for, because I used to see the fights and stuff like that, and that you maybe you might still see them on YouTube, but they're harder to find. Even UFC fights and things like that. It's some things I think are harder to find on YouTube than it used to be. But also they got the algorithms and stuff, because it's so hard to, like, they get so many videos coming at them all at once like millions of videos a day, and they don't have people actually looking at those videos. No one's watching this. No one's being paid to watch this because there's got so many people doing live streams. They have AI algorithms that might pick up words that we don't want to say, so that the algorithms will censor us or whatever. And there's lots of fear of that, of being flagged and a lot of people are afraid to say things now because of that, which is kind of a sad situation. Because I remember YouTube was so open and free. It was kind of like 2006, 2008. It was like this wild west of, no one was making money back in those days off of it. People are just doing it for the love of it. Like the Angry Video Game Nerd. He started off, he just loved video games and was making videos about it.
I don't think it was that word. Let's not use that word. I don't think that's what caused people's to go down. But, I in fact think that probably helped the RPMs per view, I would say, for some people.
What's that?
The word that we're not going to use. I would think that I think it would have doubled, the profits per view or whatever they call it these days. But maybe not. Maybe it did drastically drop them. Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, it's changed things. I think with YouTube, they're trying to keep their people who bring a lot of people to YouTube. They're trying to keep those people happy by drawing traffic toward them because they want to keep them happy, right? They want to keep their $1 million superstars happy, and at the expense, it does hurt smaller channels and all that. And so it's, I guess it's the nature of it. But if you create good content, you're going to have people like that are going to find it and connect to it. It's just the way it is. For me, it's like I go on YouTube. I want to just find something to basically like linear TV, right? I want to find that channel that I can just sit and chill and relax. I spend you work a 9-hour workday with your commute and everything else. You come home, you have dinner, and you're like, just want to relax at the end of your day, right? So
we should be careful what we say about YouTube's. I don't know if YouTube is going to like that. I don't know if
I don't know. I'm trying to give some constructive criticism, I guess, to YouTube. Yeah, like from something of a community that I really love. And then there's also with every community, there's going to be things that are not so good. I mean, and I'd love to see, because I think YouTube has done, and creating videos, it's done something where we've never had before, where anybody can have a TV show, and that's kind of a cool thing. Like I was watching on YouTube, I was watching an episode of Mr. Dress Up. That's a Canadian children's.
I love that show.
Yeah. And I was just watching that. It was an episode where Casey was in bed sick. And I was like, I remember watching this when I was a kid. That was like probably back in the 80s, right? And it's just, I don't know, not everyone would have been been able to do a TV show. But I've always thought, I saw someone like Mr. Dressup, and the imagination of being able to come up, use your imagination to come up with like a character, dress up and be someone you're not. For a little while and just have play with that, right? Mm-hmm. And I think YouTube's allowed that for a lot of people, and to give them a creative outlet to use their talents. And YouTube and other video creating sites, but I would cite YouTube because YouTube's the biggest name out there and the biggest name of the game.
Oh yeah, and there's been even in the past couple of years, there's been so many different people putting money in for platforms to try to beat out YouTube, but it's just not.
Yeah,
it's not going to go that way.
They're not getting the community there,
exactly.
Basically, that's the thing, that the foundation of YouTube is the community, like the community of people. If they lost the community, they'd be worth nothing. Mm-hmm. Like Rumble has a small community, but it's and it's unfortunate. It's going into the people who get rejected on YouTube go to Rumble or BitChute or someplace like that, and and then I don't know. It just, but it's just a small fraction of the population. Most people just watch like the cat videos, the stuff that's just going to make them feel good, right? Another thing is, which is very useful on YouTube, because I changed the electric light today. Do it yourself videos. Do it, I've never changed an exterior light lamp until today. So I watched a video on YouTube to make sure I don't electrocute myself, make sure I do it right. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to hire an electrician to do this. This is going to be a pain in the butt to do. It's going to be better off if I get an electrician. Watched a few YouTube videos. When I saw someone do it, I was like, I can do this.
Oh yeah, that's what's simple. Two wires or two wires.
Yeah. I
White
thought
to
it
white,
was.
black to
I
black.
thought it was going to be something scary, like the wire is going to fall back into the wall and I would lose it.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't done it before, so.
I don't know.
But I do something as complicated as like set up a satellite dish or run a Linux system or do stuff in the command line. But there's certain things I'm like, I don't know if I could do that because I never done it before, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how is I think TikTok is a pretty good place for revenue for people as well.
Yeah, I guess so. TikTok is, I guess, and I make fun of it. It's like all those people who hold the camera the wrong way on TikTok. Yeah,
it's funny. Thing about TikTok is that it's a simple, quick 50, that you could just do. Like, so hey, something cool happened, so you want to demo it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people, like I'd say, dance routines or whatever, who've never done that stuff before, right? Average people. I don't know. I don't necessarily see TikTok, but I see like it's kind of part of TikTok. Is Facebook is recommending all the videos that are with the camera held the wrong way, promoting them, and they like when I'm scrolling on Facebook, that comes up, and so I might stop and watch for a second.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. That is true. What that guy just said, that is definitely true.
What's that? North Coaster?
Yes.
In North Coaster Hobbies in tonight. Says YouTube's also a great place for odd and end topics that aren't covered on linear TV. And that's true too. Like there's like a lot of odd and end topics that are like I would watch, like I would say like Farpoint Farms. He talks about CB radios. I mean, that's something it's not talked about on TV ever. But it's kind of cool to watch a few videos of someone talking about CB radios because I thought that was pretty cool technology, and still think it's pretty cool. Like if we were to have our internet go down or something, power outage, an ice storm here in Canada, which is likely to happen, we could have a CB radio on our car as a backup for communication. Even those FRS radios are kind of would be a handy thing to have. If there was a power outage, just communication tools, right? And also, I remember I used to connect with people on CB radio before the internet in the 90s, right? I would like be talking on CB radio, and I would meet other people on the CB, and we would hang out. We were like-minded people. We liked tech, and CB was one of those. Before we had this, I would talk on the CB radio about stuff and people would chime in. And
the only time CB radio and two-way radio is active here. Now, I'm not sure about the amateur frequencies, but the regular FRS, GMRS, and CB radio is the only time it's active is if there's power outage, and even then it's not that active. There's people on there, like most of the time you don't hear anything on there.
Maybe people just need to start to bring back CB, right? And like amateur radio operators, they say they hate CB, but CB I think has been dead for decades.
Yeah, but now CB's gone FM.
Yeah, there's that too. I haven't seen like I need to see like a CB radio that has the same 40 channels, upper lower sideband. Upper lower sideband, you're getting into a lot better territory if you want to talk for some distance and all that. But I'd like to see the FM stuff too, because the sound quality on the AM CB radios could be really rough. especially while driving. But digital radio really sucks. I've used those digital radios that are for work, and it's hard to hear anything on those things. I wish that we had a system where we just send
Dude,
text.
Motorola's.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
Motorola's are brutal. I mean, yeah, to hear what
It's
people
like you're listening to someone with their nose plugged and trying to decipher that.
Yeah,
Like,
I actually.
This is clear. I'm using like this restream, for us to talk to each other on this.
Yeah, this is amazing.
This is clear. It's like it's better than a phone. Like it's like instant. Like it's like a Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, digital radio is pretty bad. I listen to the local city people here. They are using digital radios, but it's not encrypted. Therefore, you're perfectly allowed to listen to it without breaking any laws.
Oh yeah.
So I have a decoder on my SDR Sharp software, SDR Sharp, that decodes the digital signals as long as they're not encrypted. And
it's so on SDR Sharp. That's where I've been struggling with SDR Sharp because I moved back into Windows here, and that's another thing I wanted to play around in Windows. Is I want to be because a lot of the radio has gone digital, so I'd like to be able to listen to the digital modes. But is that like something you have to install extra on SDR?
Yeah, it wasn't that hard. I did it, and I said, okay, yeah, that works. And then I'm like, now what do I do?
See, I haven't even got SDR Sharp to work, so I have this, and it works fine. Like it'll work out of the box in GQRX and Linux. But then, for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to work. But I think I saw a tutorial the other day, and I think I missed a step in setting up the driver. So I might be able to set this up now in SDR Sharp.
There's actually two builds of SDR Sharp. You got your SDR Sharp Basic, and then you got your SDR Sharp with community plugins. The community plugins have
what I want.
everything.
Yeah, where do I get that? Send me a link to that
on the same website. If you go to SDR Sharp.com, they have the regular build, and then they have the SDR Sharp build with community plugins, and that has like the digital radio plugins and stuff. It even has an analog It even has an analog decoder for analog video if your SDR is powerful enough.
With community, it's SDR Sharp with community plugins.
Yeah.
See if I can find that on Google.
There's a train. There's a train company out here, local, and they're using a repeater system that's based on NXDN, and I wanted to listen to it, and I set up my SDR receiver to do it, but it sounded like everyone was talking through a straw, so it wasn't that good. And it was mainly just like, train 1's leaving platform 3 at the time. That's it. I listened to it for about a week, and it was just nothing but that, and no action. Then again, it is trains. There is a local law enforcement agency that did upgrade their system to Project 25. I think phase 2. But they're still using analog FM because everyone else uses it. They're just slowly implementing it.
That link I just sent you, there's if you go down, you see SDR Sharp with SDR number with community plugins. That's the build I use.
SDR. Oh yeah, okay. There's SDR. Sorry.
Oh, I've done that too on your message, Kurt, with listening to HD radio.
The AirSpy one, it comes pre-configured. The only thing you got to do is tune to the frequencies.
So what's it called again? Sorry, Trevor.
It's SDR number sign with community plugins on that website.
Oh yeah, I'm right on it right here.
Yeah,
I'll download that because I have it in here, but it wasn't working. But I probably have to just make sure I installed the driver the right way for whatever reason. Maybe I screwed it up.
Run the driver install as admin. That usually helps.
Okay, yeah.
Click on the executable for the driver. Right click and click run as administrator. See if that helps.
No, I'll install it right now. Hopefully, it doesn't crash my computer. So SDR sharp.
We're streaming here and we're setting up your computer. You can hit me up anytime on Messenger if you need help.
Yeah. SDR sharp. I don't know. Is it already installed? It's installing another one, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna have two. You're gonna have your regular SDR that has no plugins.
Okay. Yep.
Now you're gonna have the one with the plugins.
Yeah. Okay. I think this version of Windows that I'm using on this computer is very bare bones. I lost my search bar around this thing. I don't know. Maybe there was never one.
Yeah, you might want to upgrade that. I'm sure you're probably quite out of date on that. But I know you don't want to lose your Linux install, so.
Well, actually, it's on a separate drive. So it's just a matter of. But I just need to work with that program that I'm messing around with here too. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play around a little bit with Windows and. Because there's a lot of it's AV stuff that will work with it, especially like that program I was showing earlier.
And you're looking for a good open source video editor or not open source, but one that has a free version. What's it called? DaVinci Resolve is very good for Windows, and they have a pro version and they have a free version.
Yeah, I've tried it before. I tried the Linux version, but it was
the Linux version is crap.
Yeah, it was awful.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, there was a Linux version of DaVinci Resolve. It only edited in AVI files, and it was
What?
Yeah, you need to buy the pro license on Linux in order to use the other codecs.
Whereas with AVI?
The free version on Windows, you can do everything but Blackmagic. Oh wait, no, you can do Blackmagic RAW files.
You just can't do like noise reduction and color grading.
Yeah. Yes, noise reduction and color grading, but I don't think you do any of that on your videos, do you? You don't do any color grading on your videos, do you, Robbie?
No.
No. You're like me. When I just record the video, put the clips together, edit out the end, beginning and end, and then upload it.
To run this application, you must install .NET. .NET.
Yes.
Download that. What's .NET .yet? Is that runtime?
With .NET framework?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty essential for a lot of Windows programs.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I may as well put it on here. Download x64, I guess.
Oh, yeah. That's what you're going to want to go with.
I think I have an Intel in here, I think. It's downloading.
Actually, Peter, you can actually disable that in the user group policy, so it won't automatically update. I've done that before.
See, I don't know what all these extra things are.
The only thing is you can only do it on the Pro or better version of Windows 10. Disable the updates in the group policy.
So is it you that was running Windows 10?
I'm running Windows 11.
Or I mean 11. Sorry, yeah.
11. You've gone to 11.
Well,
I
know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but Windows 11 has been working way better than Windows 10 has ever for me.
Oh yeah.
That's just my experience. I can't speak for everybody. That's just what my Pacific computer and specifically what I use. So some
I
people
attempted to upgrade, but Windows told me I wasn't eligible. And then when I used the Windows 11 upgrade program, it went like all the way through and then failed. So I'm still on 10. Even though I have pretty up-to-date hardware.
When it came out, it reminded me of the movie Spinal Tap. You remember that scene where the guy's explaining that these go to 11?
I haven't seen that.
Well,
then
you must have did something wrong, Peter, because everybody that disables that in our group policy has never happened to them. But again, that's just specifically for people I've done. Every computer I do work on, I go in group policy and disable the update policy.
So I wonder if it's going to work now on my system here. I won't try to fire up my SDR, but if I can at least I got it plugged in here. If it at least launches, I'll be happy. SDR Sharp Spy server. I don't know where would it. I don't know if there's 2 SDR sharps in here or SDR radio. There's console server, SDR play.
Yeah, you got SDR Sharp is the
okay, yeah. They have the new one, and it's in a folder. ABS Spy and Auto Spy plugins list, Spy server. Anyway, would you like to down? I've installed it.
Yeah, Fedora is a bit of pain in the butt, in my opinion. Fedora Linux is, but people.
Yeah. There's versions, and people like really get into their versions. I use Mint because it's like simple to use. I'm like an Arch guy, except for Mint. I just like, I just use Mint because that's what I use.
Linux Mint is Debian based, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
It's Ubuntu based, which I guess is close to Debian.
It is Debian then.
Yeah.
Ubuntu is Debian based.
I don't know. It still wants me to install this .NET.
Now, that is one thing, Peter, I do definitely agree with you on. Windows 10 is definitely a RAM hog. That's for sure. Unless you disable a bunch of stuff, which no one's going to want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to want to go in and disable, all that. It's a bit of a pain. But I will agree with you on that. 4 gigs of RAM is unusable on Windows 10 and 11. So...
All right, maybe it'll work now because it wanted me to re-download that runtime or the .NET thing. I just want to see my SDR working. I want to see the waterfall without it crashing on me here in Windows. It works in Linux, and that's just for like.
Yep, that's happened to me all the time too. I got 60 gigs of RAM myself, and there's been times that I used to get out of memory errors on Chrome.
I don't know. It doesn't. It still wants me to install that net.net unless I got like. I'm not a.
You may need to install the 32-bit version of .NET Framework as well.
Okay, yeah. So it's the 32-bit. Is that the x86? Download x86.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay, that could be it.
Speaking of Windows being, you got to babysit the stupid thing.
Mm-hmm.
You should just be able to install it and work. That's my opinion. So, did I just curse? I don't think I did. I'm sorry if I did.
No, well, I didn't hear anything.
Hope I don't.
Just installing that .NET, the x86 version. Okay. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll try launching it. Do I need to restart the computer, you think? Or?
Usually not, no.
No.
Yeah, right now, currently, my computer is using 7.4 gigs of RAM. And I'm just on the stream. That's insane.
Chrome.
Chrome and Bitdefender.
It's keep asking for the .NET. I don't know. Maybe
you may need to restart, which obviously you can't do right now.
Yeah. I'll try it another time, though. No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, like I said, you can hit me up on Facebook anytime you need help.
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, I'll look at it another time. We'll have to get a Facebook group going here, and we'll play around with that.
Yeah. Throw me in.
Yeah.
Robbie Strike Computer Support.
Yeah. Just a room to fix our Windows machines or our Linux machines. Or we'll have to create a new channel on YouTube just for that.
Robbie Strike IT. I don't know.
I don't know. Just tinkering around, I guess. Yeah. Tinkering tech, I guess.
3 gigs is definitely a lot more than what I'm used to seeing on Linux. Usually at idle, I usually only see about 2.5 to 2 gigs on Linux Mint of RAM.
I got about 6 gigs right now being eaten by Chrome.
You must have like 2,000 tabs open.
I got a handful, but not 2,000, but
what's been 20 or so. Yeah. What's been killing me in Linux is Firefox. Firefox with Facebook running will kill my basically my computer will freeze up. If I leave Facebook on Firefox, not on Chrome, but on Firefox, it will crash on me. Like if I leave Facebook just running and I go away from my computer and come back, I'll have to restart my computer. I have to remember to turn off Facebook. Something's going on.
can't you just go in terminal and restart
Probably.
your Firefox services or your Firefox?
Oh, I usually just go in Task Manager and do that, but it sometimes causes it to be so bogged down that I just have to do a full restart.
And you know what? Here's my opinion. Every operating system has their problems.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There is not one operating system that don't have its problems.
Yeah, here's the deal. Like I like Linux, but I'm not going to say it's the best operating system. It has its problems, right? But I like to have that choice, and I feel like it gives me more choices than what Windows would do on certain things. But as I say, I can't. I probably can do like digital modes for SDRs on Linux. It's just there's not a build out there of GQRX with all the plugins that it should have. Another thing is, can you do with an SDR? You guys can answer this for me. Is can you listen to HD radio and hear the
yes, yes, you can.
Yes,
you just need.
That's another thing I wanted to do because I don't want to buy an HD radio when I have this thing here. You know,
you can basically, as long as you have the appropriate plugins or decoders on SDR Shop, you can literally do anything you want with that. Listen to anything you want, as long as it's not encrypted, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about digital. I don't want to buy an HD radio. There's only like two, maybe two stations in my area that have HD digital modes.
That's two more than what I have here for HD.
Yeah. Well, I'm close enough to the border, and actually, the CBC does have the digital. It has digital streams coming down it, but I don't know if it's actually a digital mode. CBC and the NPR station in my area. Apparently, they have. When you look at the waterfall, you see digital stuff happening in between the waterfall.
What you said there about reports on your computer activity. Actually, no. Linux is most Linux distributions are very clear of what they show and what they don't show. For example, if you install Ubuntu, your first thing would say, "Hey, do you want to send basic computer activity reports to Chronicle?" But Linux, Linux will not track anything on your computer. Someone just said, I think these days I think anything these days reports on your computer's activity usage. That's another thing that I'm not too. I mean, I have my computer can't phone home to Microsoft. I got that disabled. I got that services disabled, so they can't phone home to Microsoft.
Yeah, I got Pi-hole set up and it blocks a lot of phone homes.
I have Pi-hole set up too. I forgot to mention. I recently set it up again. I have two Linux servers on my network right now. My PBX server and my Raspberry, which runs a VPN service and Pi-hole.
Oh, nice. Oh, I just realized I got to get up early tomorrow. Well, not too early, but at 10 o'clock, I got to run my church's live stream. I got to get there early too because I got to set up the live stream link. So when you set up a link for a YouTube live stream, you have to go into YouTube and make sure that that you go into the YouTube studio and send it unless you're using Restream. Restream will do that for you. So, and I don't use Restream for the church service at this point. I think we wanted to keep it very simple for a lot of the older people where I go to church because they don't want to have like a whole bunch of, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on YouTube. It's like, we're going to send an email with a link. Here, you want to do the church service remotely. Here is the link and do it that way. So, we're just trying to keep it simple. So anyway, guys, I'm going to close the stream off. Great talking to you all today. Maybe I'll redo my computer and see if SDR Sharp will work for me when I restart.
Well, if you need help, you could try hitting me up, and I'm sure one of us can help you.
Yeah, we'll have to connect at some point. Discord's been kind of dead, though. We should hopefully maybe sometimes show up on Discord sometime. If you're not on Discord, join our Discord server. It's for free satellite TV, but if we kind of talk about, we should. I have a report feed section. Yeah,
you should make. I don't want. You should make me admin on that so I can help you set up some different channels and stuff. I shouldn't have said that on live. I'm sorry.
No, but I'll get in contact with you about that. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn this thing off. I don't know if I did an intro tonight, so I'll. How do we do all this? Just close these down here.
You want to protect your privacy? Don't forget to subscribe to ExpressVPN. Use my link in the description.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, we got that going on there. All right. Have a good night. And how do I turn this off here? Figuring it out here. What it would look like if adults acted like toddlers. The gate's closed! I got the killer balloon.
I'll shoot it.
I got the killer balloon.